Heyo! Yeah. And then Cooper immediately fucking, what are you doing, buddy?
It's just his puppy nature.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello. Hi, Corey.
How are you?
I'm very, very good. I'm super, but comfortably, exhausted after a long weekend at BITR.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Tell all.
Yeah, no,
I want to know.
It was super good. I didn't get to do too much that first day because I was doing merch for Second Life, but the second day I got to get up and move around and do a lot more. Mm-hmm. It was loads of fun.
Merch is fun, and you miss a lot though. At least y'all are in the same room though, right?
Yeah, we were in the same room, and we actually got a really good spot. And I just had to peek over a little bit, and I got to see almost the whole show. And I only really got to get out there and really hang out for No Cure and a little bit of Terror.
All right.
But it was super, super good.
One of the bandmates finally come over and give you a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, hey guys, I gotta do it for the shade.
At least two bands. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fest merch is usually you're not near anything and you just hear this.
Yeah.
You know, you're missing everything. It's fun though. I love doing merch. Actually, it's very fun.
Yeah, you get to hang out and get to meet a couple people you've never met before and talk to them.
From all over too, apparently.
Yeah, and you can be like somebody's little break. That's another thing, you know.
Right.
Because usually they're exhausted. They've been going all day, and they're just sometimes they'll just come over to you, stand there, and they're just like, I need to kind of chat about something, or just get away from
decompress me, please.
Yes. And that's how you sell them. That's how you're just like, so what size are you?
You'd look good in this one.
Yeah.
With the skulls and the thing.
Oh, yeah, no, dude. This is a local the local design. This it's super cool.
Yeah.
You start talking about who designed the print, and they're just like, oh, that's so cool.
Oh, where are you from? Oh, really? Oh, I got nephews in that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Get them.
That's how you gotta sell, hustle.
The hustle is so real. You're helping your friends out, but it's like, did they pay? Did you get paid? Hey, you paying your
Hey,
people?
I got it for free. That was the pay.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It was a great deal. It was a great deal. And Will is always he's a very genuine and honest dude.
He is literally one of the best humans alive on this planet. No doubt about it. He's one of my all-time favorites, and I'll see him at 6:30 this morning. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're working.
Oh, okay, working. Y'all work together?
Sometimes.
That's so cool.
When he needs help, he's like, hey, do you want to do this? And I'm like, yeah, duh, absolutely. When you're like, I like to be alive and have food and stuff in my kitchen.
That's so cool. That's awesome that y'all work together. But I think the best set, one of the God's Hate was crazy. God's Hate was actually, I was looking at it, I was like, oh, wait, are we allowed to say a couple little fuzzy words like hell?
You say whatever you
want.
Okay. Fuck, shit, damn, piss.
Okay, look. Okay, so, it was like all hell broke loose out there. I was like, It was all like the 7 foot tall people, or it was all like the 7 foot wide people, and they were just clobbering each other. I was like, you know what? I'll watch
this one out.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch hell unfold from the balcony.
Sometimes as I age, that's a lot of times that's my favorite part.
Yes, it's just watching.
You just go, oh shit, look at that.
Yes. Oh. I was like, oh shit,
watching people eat it.
Yeah.
The stage dive, eating it. Boom.
Oh, yep. Because we did our time. I did my time eating at stage diving. I have a crazy story from Downtown Music Hall where I was like 15, 16 maybe. And I remember it was like, I actually don't remember the show. I think it might, and the reason for it is because I staged
the concussion?
Yeah, exactly, the concussion.
Yeah.
I just I wasn't paying attention, and I was like, stage dive, crowd of girls, all of them disperse, head hit concrete, head first, boom, done.
Oh, yeah.
Get up, and I was like, hey, are you so-and-so? And they're like, no, Rachel.
You're going to have to sit down now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it was worth it. It's good. I needed that. I needed that in my teens.
Sure. We all did.
Right.
That's why we're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the chaos group. We need to get that out of us all the time, constantly, at every single show.
No, exactly. I think, and it helps build confidence. You get to socialize. You get to develop a lot of really good social skills from going to shows, meeting people, learning how to talk to people, build out of your insecurities into being a more secure, autonomous person.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, being able to do things and fuck up a little bit with your peers too, you know.
Right, exactly.
Life shit.
Right.
Yeah. and then all of a sudden it's 20 years later and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How did I get here?
But then you got like all these good stories, all these good memories.
Oh, millions of stories.
Yeah.
I was just talking to somebody about it the other day. I was like, I'm borderline one mistake away from just like pure homelessness, but I think I would still take it. Like the life I've lived, because all the things I've done in my past, which is just some of the craziest shit. Sometimes I sit and think like, damn, I really did that. That is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I've done shit people would dream about.
Yeah.
And do dream about.
No, I think about this because that, hardcore is and everything, music is and everything, but interacting stuff, people are just like, oh, you've been to like a concert, and I'm like, yeah, dude, a lot of them.
I've been meeting a lot of people here lately. There's so much youth coming now. They're like, this is my first time. You're like,
yes,
the fuck out of here.
Yes. No, it's honestly so wholesome, though.
I remember my first time, kid. Get out now.
Right, exactly. No, a lot of new kids, a lot of new faces, and all of them. We have somebody that we're doing music with right now, this group that I'm doing stuff with, and he's like, I don't know. I think he's 19. I don't know. But he's like, my first show was in 2020 or something. And I was like,
it's wild. That's so crazy.
What? That's 3 years ago. My first show was like at Old Juanita's, Hawthorne Heights.
Main Street Juanita's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm like, dude, that was like, how old were you then? Like,
probably not alive.
Right. No, like there's some of them. There are some of them where I was like, oh, you were a baby when I was at my first show.
That's most now for me.
Yeah.
All the kids in the bands that are kid bands now, well, what I call kids.
Yeah, same.
None of them were alive when I was going to shows first. So it blows my mind.
Exactly. Like, some of them, they're like 20, and I'm still like, oh, dude, you're still a kid.
Oh, very much.
Like, you're still a kid, buddy.
I'll be 40 very, very soon, and I still feel very kid-esque in nature. I still like,
same.
I want to do kid shit and hang out and then I'm like, my electric bills due. It's like, but I have to be a workhorse and do all this other shit.
Yeah, but you do get a little bit of time for creativity. That's the blessing of it.
Yeah, band practices. Don't play as many shows as I'd like to, but that's just life.
Yeah.
The older you get, I think, unless you're marching towards some goal, I think they just kind of decline. Just
doing music,
like playing on a stage.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's because then like a lot of the people you're doing music with, they're older.
Exactly.
And then they're like, well, I'm working, I have kids, I have family.
Yep.
So that does consume a lot of time, but that makes it also more special.
True. It makes the time spent way more special because it's like, man, remember when we used to do this every weekend?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like my first official band, the band that like played shows was Violent Pact. But
nuh-uh.
Yeah.
You're that really?
That was my first band.
You've been in the music scene this long?
I know. Well, so
how does that happen?
Well, I just never. I guess I was doing other stuff. I do a lot of things. Like I draw. I write a lot. I write a lot of poetry. I had like this like big aspiration to just like write poetry zines for a long time. Like writing poetry or like doing like a my own kind of like publishing deal or something like that. But
that's
dope. That didn't really kick off. I still write a lot of poetry, but I haven't really done too much with it or done anything too cool. But like, I guess technically the first thing that was like a musical endeavor was something that I did when I was in like probably like fresh in high school, and it was just like a singer-songwriter thing with one other guy, and he just played guitar, and we played one show.
Talent show?
No, it was actually at Sit and Talk. It was
the coffee shop.
Yeah, the coffee shop. We played one show at Sit and Talk, and then that was it. That was the end of that band.
You're like, you know what? That was terrible.
Yeah, no, it was. It was so bad. It was honestly.
It's supposed to be though.
Yeah.
You know, like the first few times. That's the thing I don't like about these young kids. They're coming in here and their first time is fucking unbelievable.
They're so good. I'm like,
it's like they've been playing together for 20 years.
Yes. And they're like, they've got like way more style. They don't look as dorky than me. I was like, yo, I looked so dorky. I was like, I'm like wearing like a 4-year strong hat, and like, I don't know. They're coming up.
I found one of me the other day from like the original first few shows I played. I'm like Jinko jeans and like my long skater haircut with the undershaved sides.
The Jinko jeans.
Oh yeah, Corn t-shirt, proud.
No.
Oh yeah,
no,
good times.
But it was, yeah, that's that, or you have no sense of you have no sense of personal like what you look like on the outside, but also you just feel great. You're like, I'm awesome.
Oh yeah. No, we were we were
living
partying.
it up.
We were living a dream. You couldn't tell me I wasn't going to be famous. Rockstar shit all the time, 24/7.
That's that mentality.
I feel like at least then you kind of needed that because you didn't have like internet or a way to get your shit out there. You kind of had to play a part and just get out there and actually be out. You couldn't just be at home making content.
No, yeah, well, I didn't.
Which I'm severely bad at because I didn't.
I think that's a lot to do with internet.
Yeah.
Because like when I grew up, it was like get off of school. I could go home, or I could sit in my room all day, or I could immediately get on my bicycle, tell my mom hi, go to Aaron's house.
Yeah.
And then after going to Aaron's house, go to my other friend Tyler's house, and then it's like, okay, so how many fireworks we got left? You know,
hell yeah.
What can we blow up? What can we? You
ever break them open and try to make a bigger firework?
See, we weren't that creative. That's a creative idea though.
Yeah, I got in big trouble doing that once. Yeah.
Yeah, I did not do that. We did other dastardly things like play baseball with potatoes.
Oh, that's fun though.
That's very fun. We
had potato guns. Did you ever do that?
No, we never had a
potato
gun.
Where you do like a piece of PVC pipe and you fill it full of hairspray and then you light that on fire and then it shoots a potato out the end.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, crazy things. We had 10 acres and no adult supervision.
Okay, so yeah, that's about it.
We were getting real
That's about
crazy.
it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, what was your first show?
Oh my God. My first show technically was like a country concert at like Barton Coliseum.
Oh.
A long time ago when I was like a child. But as far as like the scene stuff, like underground music, I didn't know what underground music was. And then a buddy of mine in high school was like, you got to stop listening to that stuff and listen to this stuff. And he handed me this brick of CDs. I've told this story a bunch, but this is like the abridged version. And he handed me a bunch of CDs. And in that stack of CDs is like Ludacris, which was then
Ludacris,
not,
okay.
They weren't Norma Jean yet. They were still Ludacris.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the rapper.
Oh, not the rapper. No,
okay,
no.
Okay.
Like Zayo.
Okay.
And then like Living Sacrifice, all that stuff, the old stuff.
Okay, so
Under
like
Oath
old
when they were death metal.
Yeah.
Super fast, super heavy. So the first time I saw anyone was Living Sacrifice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I only saw them like a couple years back, and I was like, oh, I'm never going to get to see that band. And then they, that's one of the local bands you're just never going to see. But
they started playing shows again.
Yeah, they started playing shows again. I got to see them. It was super cool.
Yep.
So you're one of your first few like in the scene shows was Living Sacrifice. That's
if it wasn't
gnarly.
for my friend Drew, he just was like, do this instead, because I was already starting to get into music, like playing bands, and I didn't even really think that there was a place for bands to go. Mm-hmm. You just kind of
that's like a crazy. You're like, oh, that's just like a weird like image in a book, or like
you think mainstream, right? Well,
right.
At least in my mind, because all I had was MTV and magazines.
That was it.
You got to go play in another state at this venue you heard about, and you think it's big, but really it's a shitty like 200 cap, fucked up turd of a room where they all got their starts. Mm-hmm. But you don't really know it until you go in the one and you go, what in the fuck? And then you watch a band play and you just go,
right.
This is forever now. You're in here forever now.
No, that's exactly it. That's exactly because there's something addicting about it that just makes you keep coming back.
It's the best drug in the world.
Yeah, because I remember like watching on like MTV and seeing like live Green Day videos or like like live Blink-182 videos, and then like seeing these crazy crowds. I was like, that's fucking insane. And you're just like, okay, that's something that exists out in the world, I guess. But and then you're like, well. And then you turn like 16 and you go to Warped Tour.
Right.
You're like, okay, that's what this is actually.
I found my 04 Warped Tour ticket. It's like 90-something bands on that bill or whatever that crazy number was. No. $27.
Oh, man. No, shows were so much more formidable.
It's so many fucking bands in a day and for $27. I was like, what the fuck has happened? That was 04. So in 20 years' time, it went from that to what would that be now? That's a $300 concert.
Yeah, like 90 bands. That would be like Riot Fest now, which is like $300.
Yeah, that's fucking and is that multiple days?
That's 3 days. Yeah. See, but the thing with that also is there was like where Warped Tour, it's like multiple stages, not just like 3.
Oh, so many stages.
But it's like 5 fucking stages.
2 big main ones, the
a labyrinth,
the thing, and then all the generator stages too.
Yeah.
And then like even in the merch row, there was like a band playing. You're just like, this is so fun. That was one of the coolest fucking things ever. Warped Tour is just. I don't think that. I don't know that can be a thing anymore.
No.
Just because the cost would be unbelievable. But I feel like, hold on, I'm thinking about it in real time here. I'm trying to like quantify that. When did Warped Tour end? Does anybody remember?
2016.
16.
Yeah.
It wasn't that expensive in 2016. What was a Warped Tour ticket in 2016? You think
I feel
probably
like it was
$50,
like
$60,
$50-$60 probably.
2019?
Because
what do you?
Did they do the full tour in 2019? Final full tour was 2018.
2018 was the final real one.
Okay.
That ticket was probably what, $60?
Well, yeah, because I remember I went to 4 years of it, and each time it was like $60.
Yeah, it was like 55, 60 bucks.
Yeah.
So from 18, so really the price over tripled in just 5 years.
Yeah.
So it was considerably less than like now that would be just an unheard of ticket price.
But also it's like the sponsor and like the ones that were actually able to like do that, I feel like they had like the funds. Like that's like a
like they ate the cost a little.
Yeah, I think they probably ate the cost a little bit. Where I think now, which makes it a little bit more personable, it's like a lot of these bigger festivals that you get to go to, like or like these festivals that you're going to now or that I'm going to, they're like put on by like more local based people. Like for example, last night that was Stan.
Stan and Evan and Reed.
Yeah, Stan, Evan, and Reed, and all the BITR guys, right? And like those are people that are like down your block.
Right,
they don't own Vans Warped Tour.
What was the last one everybody went to? Fury, Sound and Fury.
Yeah,
that's probably also like a local person, I would assume.
Probably so. Yeah, it's just like it's more personable in that way. So there's probably a reason.
Yeah, maybe it's just I don't know. Maybe I'm just remembering the past in a weird way, because I guess there is still a ton of almost everything is a fest now. I feel like
everything is a fest. I went to 3 festivals this year.
Damn.
Yeah, we went to LDB, I went to Tied Down, and then I went to BITR, and then I guess right before all that we went to Riot Fest. It's just like go, That's
so many fests.
But not this. Not. I didn't go to the Riot Fest this year. That was last year. But it was like ending of last year, and then right to another festival, and it's just been like lulls,
God.
So it's just going to a lot of shows, seeing a lot of bands.
You still keeping track of it all?
Oh yeah, I've seen. As of last night, it was 1,075 bands that I've seen.
That's fucking great. You made a post about that a couple years ago, I think, or maybe it was this year. You were like, I'm so close to 1,000 bands.
Yes.
And I thought, that doesn't seem like a lot of bands, but I know you've been in the music scene for fucking
actually
ever.
A lot of bands.
That's a lot of
because
fucking...
a lot of the things is like you re-see them.
I have an inflated thing where I just inflate things to make... I love storytelling, so I'm always like, and boastful.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I've seen thousands of bands. And then you're like, I've seen 1,070. I'm like, there's no way I've seen thousands of bands.
Yeah. No,
I mean, I worked at venues and stuff, but even if I saw every night, I still wouldn't be in the thousands.
Yeah. It feels like a lot because you're going to shows and there's like 5 bands playing, right? But it's also like 5 bands that you've seen probably
right, you
3
don't
or
get
4
to count
times.
them all.
Yeah.
Right. So every local, you're like, well, you only get that once.
Right.
The first time you saw them is the only time technically you can put them on your list of bands you've seen.
Exactly. Well, there's a way, like, you could probably like count how many times you've seen them, which I've done with a couple bands. But you know, it's like you're gonna see a lot of the same bands over again, so that's gonna make it a little bit slower of a process, and you gotta start trying to find going out of state and seeing, you know, it spread out, because then you're also kind of like in a regional thing, you know, because a lot, like, I was thinking, like, I haven't seen any bands from Vermont, and I was like, where the hell is that place? Vermont's way the fuck up there.
Yes, it is.
And a lot of people don't even consider themselves from Vermont. They're like, oh, we're from Oregon, because Vermont's like, the scene there's so small. So
so saying you're from Vermont wouldn't count.
Right. They're like nobody actually knows who the
it's
fuck
like when
Vermont
you're from
is.
Bryant, you just put Little Rock. Because fucking no one is gonna know that you're from Bryant, Arkansas. Right. You just say Little Rock.
Right. So it's like there's a lot of, and they're like, it's really hard. You wouldn't be able to, and like Hawaii, like you couldn't see a lot of, like, nobody's seen a band from Hawaii right now.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I can't say that I have. I don't know.
So it's like, if you want to see a band from Hawaii, you got to go to Hawaii.
You got to go to Hawaii. Is there a band from Hawaii? Aside from,
I just made a huge playlist. I just made a playlist of like, almost like a week worth of music, time-wise, of just Hawaii music. And I started making a lot of friends in Hawaii. Like, I just like, so I went and I got online and I went to a Hawaii hardcore subreddit.
What?
And then I just was like, all right, who's the guy to know? And then I found the guy to know. And then I was like, all right. And I followed him on Instagram. We started talking and he was like, yeah, here's all these bands. So I started like looking up all these bands and finding all these bands. And then I just like started checking out all these Hawaii hardcore.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's that easy, apparently. You just start messaging people. I'm so bad at that. I'm just very extroverted and social, and I like making friends, and I like, you know, that's part of it. What made you want to keep track of all the bands? I have to ask. I have to know. I got to get inside the mind a little bit. Like,
I think it's just autism.
You think you just...
Sorry, but I'm autistic. Like, you gotta make lists. There's my friend Matt was like, I make a list, and then like that, like my autistic brain was like, oh no, I can make a list about this.
I cannot. It was just automatic. You were like, oh, I saw 4. First show you went to, you're like, I saw 4 bands at this show. Let me get that in there and write that down because this was cool.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Felt some type of way about it, so it's like, I want to remember this.
Yeah, exactly.
So write it down.
Yeah, write it down. And then I've been adding like notes to it, like things that, like, significant things that happened and stuff. Like, if it happened with that band, I'm like, yo, this crazy shit happened. Or like,
oh, like mind triggerers where you can be like, oh, this happened. Oh yeah, remember his ankle was backwards. Yeah.
Or be like, oh, dude, this crazy kid just like knocked his jaw out of place and was just like, I don't give a fuck, and just kept going. You know, some kind of crazy.
Absolutely.
Anything notable, I'm like, oh, I gotta put that in the notebook.
Had a few notable things happen at some shows.
Yeah,
I've seen some wild shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You're bound to.
You're bound to.
Yeah.
Because people are just like, people are wild.
Couple of crooked arms, couple of misplaced kneecaps, you know.
Okay, so I think like the craziest shit I've seen, mostly just a lot of blood.
A lot of blood.
A lot of blood. Yeah, just
a couple of stabbings.
I've never seen a stabbing. What the fuck?
Hell yeah, at Vino's.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
A stabbing at Vino's? That's crazy.
Sure. Parking lots at night are not safe.
That's sketchy.
Can be. It very well can be. I almost got stabbed myself in that parking lot.
Yeah.
Corey, what the fuck are you doing?
Protecting my friends.
Okay, that's a good... Yeah, there you go.
It's okay. I 300 kicked him in the chest.
There we go.
Leg, not the chest, the leg.
That's how you do it. That's how you protect your friends, right there. You
sometimes you just gotta, you know...
You got to Spartan kick them.
Gotta just... Well, it's safer. Kicking is safe, children. Distance, remember.
But, like, last night, I got to talk to Dwid, and, like, he was like, your Instagram name is Bold Crippled Youth. He's like, I fucking love Crippled Youth. And then he started singing a Crippled Youth song, and I was like, dude, I love Crippled Youth. And then we started talking about Crippled Youth for, like, 12 minutes, and then he was like, yeah, dude, they, like, played in my backyard when I was, like, 18, and they played with this band called Morales that later became the band Slint, and I was like, whoa, that's so much information. But it's just like that was a notable moment, so I like jotted that down because it's just like, when are you gonna have a conversation with that?
Right,
like that.
I agree. Well, it's also stuff like that is you just never know who you're talking to in that moment.
Right.
Some person just comes walking through. Oh, I'm from here, blah blah, and then like 10 years down the road, you're like, they are in tour buses. They are going across the whole nation. It's wild how fast it can happen.
Yeah, and like Crippled Youth was such a cool band, and like they later became like Bold.
I don't know who that is. What are they like?
They're like they're just like a straight edge band.
Oh, okay.
They're like an old straight edge like youth crew band. I love that shit. I've always loved that shit. I love that like positive hardcore shit. Love like Have Heart, Youth of Today.
Have Heart, did you see that?
What?
Did you see the?
I never saw Have Heart.
No, their drummer singer took all their Instagram photos off and just put Have Heart underneath his. They're coming back.
No fucking way!
On Instagram.
Holy!
One of their guitarists like retweeted that whole thread and was like, "Not happening, sorry."
Oh, then what happened?
Okay. But
then why did he do that? Just to fuck with people?
No, let's talk about this. Guitarists are replaceable.
That's also true.
No, you can.
Unless you're trying to make new music.
I don't think
then why did that person do that?
When they're gonna be like, "Oh, actually, we're doing it without you," that would be terrible.
Ooh.
I mean, okay, but seriously though,
didn't that just happen though?
I'll still go.
Attack. That was what it was. Attack did that.
I'm just saying it's not out of the realm of possibilities. Let's not knock it down.
All
we want is Patrick Flynn.
I personally think it's a Furnace Fest stunt.
Like they might play Furnace Fest.
It's the last Furnace Fest,
dude.
They are the gods of getting bands back together. I mean, they pulled Beloved out of the grave, and they had been not a band since 2003. It's like, how did you fucking do that? And through the pandemic, they were like, "Hey, hold on a minute, wait, and we'll still get you." And then they still were like, "All right, we'll still play it." Like that's nuts,
dude. I'm gonna be real.
Bane, they did. I think they did it with everybody.
Bane is sick, but Have Heart. If that happened, no.
I think I thought that's the first thing I thought of was like this has to be Furnace Fest related.
Yeah,
it's the first place my brain went to. Why would you delete your personal Instagram, everything off of it, and then just change your name to Have Heart? Why would you do that?
To let them know it's
that's what I'm saying.
It's advertising.
That is like
no.
That is like
he's on something there. I will be there. I will be there. Mark my words. If that is true, if that happens,
I hope it happens. That'd be sick as fuck. That last year is gonna have to be some kind of crazy.
Verse, Ceremony. There's like a bunch of bands that I really, really, really want to see that I've never got a chance to see.
Or is it even like possible for most of them?
You know, some of them.
You never know.
Some of them maybe, some of them nah.
Is it a lot of overseas stuff, or is it just a lot of been broke up forever?
Been broke up forever, you know. Or they're just like, they're really, really expensive. The opportunity to see them is like Cruel World. Cruel World Fest in like California. It's like there's a lot of bands like.
So it's like you got to spend $2,000 if you want to get all the way across the country and.
Right, yeah. Like $500 ticket because you want to go see fucking 45 Grave and Christian Death and you want to see fucking.
You got to see it all if you're going all the way over there.
Yeah. And then it's like you want to go over there and see that, so it's gonna be $500 and then you got to get a hotel and then I got to get Natalie a ticket.
Oh,
because I'm not gonna leave my fucking.
Every time you double it, you're like, oh, I forgot.
I gotta get my wife.
Double the fucking price now.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So it's like, it's just not. That's just so unfeasible. At least. Well, we have to, like, we're trying to save and build and do all this stuff because we got a lot of, like, surgeries coming up for both of us. But once we're done with these surgeries, we're just, you know, we're gonna do something special. We're gonna do something nice.
Like a nice couples trip.
Yeah, like we've talked about it and like, you know, or like go to like Cruel World or something like that. That'd be like really cool.
Yep.
Because that's something that we haven't got to experience a lot. Like, I grew up listening to a lot of goth music, a lot of post-punk music. My dad is like old goth guy. He's like he was like super into like post-punk and goth music, and that's like kind of like what I was raised around. And I've only gotten to see like a handful of bands, right? And so I would love to go to Cruel World, and like I know like a lot of my friends have been, and I'm like, damn, y'all. But we'll see. We'll see. I just want to see a bunch of fucking new wave bands and post-punk bands.
Right.
And I know Natalie does too. So we're gonna try at some point.
I feel that.
Yeah.
It's hard. Everything's so damn expensive. I like me and my wife. We've never even had a vacation together.
For real?
Never, not once. 16 years together. Not one vacation alone. Just me and her.
That's rough.
It's weird.
That's really rare. Yeah.
Time just passes you up, and you're like moving so fast. And early in life, we was just doing everything. And then it's just like, well, we got to do this, we got to do that. And then we're going here, we're going to family. All of our family lives in other states. So it's like, well, let's go to that. But then you're with your family. So we've never been on like, I don't even know what we would do, to be honest. Go get a hotel room somewhere and just sit. We're like, well, we're here.
That's kind of peaceful, though.
Could be. Do it somewhere like super mountainous where you're just excluded from everything.
Or get a Euro pass.
Oh, yeah.
Because we've talked about doing that, like, getting Euro pass, because she used to actually live in she lived in Chile, she lived in different parts of Europe, and she lived in Athens.
Damn.
Yeah, she lived all over the fucking place because her parents were they taught abroad for college shit.
I see.
So she got to live all over these places. So it's like she's already kind of like had those opportunities, and I've never had those opportunities. So we're thinking about doing that again.
I've only ever been to like Mexico.
I've never even been out of the country.
That's the only, and it was like 17 feet into Mexico, so I don't even really. It doesn't really count. I feel
counts.
like
It kind of counts.
We went on the first road we saw, looked around, did some neat like vendor shit, and then like came back and went swimming in the ocean. That's it.
That's kind of nice though.
Sorry, it was like I think I was like 10. I don't know if it counts, but I wouldn't count it. I barely remember it.
See, the vacations that I always went on, my dad was like, I don't know what it was, but my dad was like, we gotta go to New Orleans. He always wanted us to go to New Orleans. So it was like every summer we went to my family's lake house, my great grandmother's lake house.
Fancy.
Yeah, actually it was kind of kind of shrubby, but but a lake house nonetheless.
Yeah.
And then we went to New Orleans.
Shout out.
Yeah, and it was like really fun. So I have a lot of like fond memories of going there and walking around and staying in New Orleans for a while with my dad. And then I went once as an adult, and that was getting to go there as an adult, like by myself without my dad. It was kind of a totally different vibe.
That free range behavior.
Yeah. It was more than us like going to like Ripley's Believe It or Not or something, you know. Even though that would be super fun as an adult too.
Yeah, it's funny how those things come back around. Like the older you get, you're like, actually, that would be fun.
That would be kind of. It's kind of like, oh, that's kind of wild. You know,
it's kind of neat.
Yeah,
it's like less than. I don't want to do crazy things too much anymore. I'm just kind of like, although I don't. My mind wants to, but then my body goes, nah. Let's just chill. Let's just walk around and see neat stuff. Let's not do anything too crazy.
Right. Right, like not anything.
No more bungee jumping. No more.
Oh no, I've never been bungee jump. No, it's mostly like for us. It's like I just like going to like, I like seeing things more than I like. You know, I would like doing stuff. Like we went to California, and then I went to the Forever Cemetery, and I saw like Rudolph Valentino's grave.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm a huge movie fan. Love film. I've always loved it. I have some of the best like movies is like my probably my first love, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. Like I just love film. So I love old Hollywood movies. I always have. So it's like got to see Rudolph Valentino's grave, Virginia Rappy. I got to see Roz Williams. You know, I got to see Hollywood Lawn. Just all out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I went to the Forever Cemetery. Went to like, there's like crazy shit. Hollywood is immersed in crazy shit. There's like so much in Hollywood that's just absolutely just outlandish and bizarre, and like all these like wild stories of like scandals that happened in the 1920s and like what people were doing and like
I mean even now there's
oh yeah, like
it's like it was forever that way,
right? Because there was like this like sorry to derail from
It's
talking
like the
about
most
music.
beautiful place. Just pure chaos.
Right.
The second humans got there, they were like, we should fuck this up.
Well, the thing is, it was like money, you know?
Uh-huh. Well, gold.
Yeah.
We came there for money. Like, we got to the end and went, oh, there's expensive shit all in the ground here. We should do something about it.
Yeah, and then it's like there was like the film rush,
Mm-hmm.
and then like all these people went over there for like trying to get into show business, and they just went fucking bonkers.
Yeah. It's always been head west.
Yeah. And like, you know, you had like, and then you had the big changeover from talking to not talking to talking, and everybody lost all their money. So you had these crazy eccentric ex-billionaires that have everything paid off, and their like brains are rotting from like lead exposure. They're just like wandering around Hollywood. It was just like it's just like crazy shit. The underbelly, and it's like overrated and underrated.
Yeah. It's like, it's crazy how many people were clinically insane back then and fully running shit.
Yes.
They're
Well,
like,
I mean, that's now.
Oh, their brains filled with lead. They've been just mercury poisoning themselves for 30 years, and they're just out here making decisions.
And you know, that could be a little bit of it now too.
Oh, for sure.
Like all these politicians.
We have to wait, right?
Right.
We didn't, because they didn't know.
Well, we had to wait till we're 76
It's like
to become
cigarettes,
politicians.
right? Well, yeah, exactly. It's like cigarettes. Good. They've been killing everyone forever, turns out. And then it still took 40 years for everyone to go, maybe we shouldn't smoke and promote it. Maybe
it's a bad idea. You know, maybe this is like gonna give me lung cancer. It's gonna.
I still miss it.
Wait, you quit smoking? That's good.
It's been, what do you think? Almost 2 years, probably. I bet. It's been a fucking hot minute now.
See, the thing with that is like my dad used to smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
And like I remember when like I was young, right? I'm straight edge, but so when I was young, like
Your parents smoke in the house.
Yeah, well, my mom never smoked. My dad did, because my dad was always like a cool guy, and he was like always like kind of like edgy and like
goth and stuff. Yeah, you're gonna be smoking for sure.
Right. And so he was like, you know, he always smoked, but like when I got older, and like because it's weird. My dad was a cool dad, but he was also like very weirdly strict about weird things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was strict about not smoking. He was strict about things that he didn't want me exposed to. He was like, yeah, you can look at like controversial and strange art, but I don't want you watching somebody getting their head ripped off. During a movie. You can listen to spooky, weird goth music, but I'd rather you not watch a movie that has like any kind of like really controversial material in it, you know?
Interesting.
Yeah, so he was like equally strict and equally like really cool. And exposed me to a lot. But like I remember I snuck my first cigarette from him, smoked it, and it made me immediately depressed.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it made me feel the weirdest feeling. Like I was like, oh, this doesn't feel good. And it wasn't like the sick feeling. It was like the dull and sad feeling. And then when I got older, again, it was me and my best friend, and like it was like one of the first times that we stayed the night. We would go and we would get an extension cord and would run the extension cord from his house to a tent that we set up on the edge of the woods.
Fuck yeah.
And then would bring a little a smaller TV, and would go out there and we'd watch some movies in it. And he stole a carton of cigarettes from his dad's freezer. And we were like, all right, we're gonna stay up and we're gonna watch all your brother's weirdo French movies, and we're gonna smoke these cigarettes. And like,
fuck yeah, you are.
That's what we did. And I was like, dude, this is bad.
In the woods in a tent powered by an extension cord. It's fucking amazing.
And I was like, dude, this is making me sick. And Jay was like, no, it feels good. And I was like, you don't feel good, dude. You don't feel good. He's like, but it's killing.
He's like, it feels good.
Yeah. Exactly. He's like, but it's killing the gnats. It's
killing the gnats.
He's like, it's killing the gnats.
If you blow the smoke at the TV, the moths go away.
That's what he was doing. You're like, dude, this is terrible. This is horrible.
Fuck, that's funny.
And then I was like, I'm quick to learn that's like, I don't want to do that shit.
From that day forth, I knew.
You just know, you're like, this sucks. Yeah. It's like, that's something you don't want to mess with.
That's good. Oh my Lord.
And it's funny because like, we had a lot of like, we were just so silly because like I remember we would do that and we would just like we'd just scare ourselves.
Mm.
You know, we'd be like, oh my gosh, what is that? What is that weird shadow out there? Or, what's that light? And he just like, it was like probably like a street light.
It's a street lamp and a branch making like a weird shadow, and it moves a little, and you are mortified.
Yeah,
we
were mortified.
And it's never, oh, it could be a dog. It's like, oh my God, there's lions in the woods. You know,
like,
it's so.
For us, it was like, oh my God, that's like pagan hillbillies that are like out there. They've got
they're
like
doing rituals.
They're like wanting to kidnap me. Yeah. They're wanting to kidnap Jay. Like, this is it. We're gonna drown in a lake. Like our brains always went like total left field.
Yeah. God.
Yeah.
It's wild how much time youth of yesteryear used to spend just in woods.
Oh yeah. I spent so much time because
it's the only free space you had.
Yeah, that was the thing. It's like, I grew up. My parents were divorced.
Sure.
And my mom was like a strict Pentecostal woman, and my dad was Wiccan. And they very much so did not agree with each other's lifestyles.
It's wild they got married. Wiccan and pagan.
So, okay, here's what happened.
Pagan and, what'd you say, Pentecostal?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so...
Yeah, so it was more that, like, my mom was like ooh, hot goth boy in high school. And then my mom was like, my dad was like, oh, yeah, I'm cool. And then my mom and him got together, and then she was like, oh, you're kind of weird. And, like, you're kind of artsy, and you're kind of, like politically, like, not where I'm at.
Right.
And, like, some of your, like, lifestyle choices aren't, like, where I'm at. I'm more, like, conservative and traditional. And then she's like, I'm not about this. So she, like, divorced my dad when I was 3. And then she got with a Pentecostal guy.
Oh, so it was pretty quick.
Yeah, it was quick. Okay. It was fast. And then, like, but my dad lived out in he lived here in Little Rock, right? And
yes.
So my mom lived out in the woods. And, like, most of my core memories are just running around out in the woods. Mm-hmm. And that's where I feel most comfortable.
Absolutely.
Everybody's like, I want to move into the city. I'm like, I want to get the fuck out of here.
I live in the woods now.
Yeah.
Finally, after 27 years of living in Bryant, I was like, I got to get in the woods. I almost bought, it was like 5 acres out in like, not Searcy. Yeah, Searcy. No, not Searcy.
That's where I grew up.
So it might have been Searcy, actually. It was like deer hunting land that they were just trying to offload. And I was
Shout
just
out
like,
Dashed.
Yeah. Yeah, where's that new sticker at? I'm wearing their new shirt. They got a new sticker, too, that's fucking awesome.
I'm so happy they're doing stuff for that area, because those kids need...
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Search and destroy...
Cersei and destroy. Fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Put that right there.
Honestly, that area needs something.
They got it.
Yeah, they Zash is bringing it to them because like they have like that Cersei Zash Bash thing. And it's like those kids were in a drought. They were in a social drought. You know.
I still think about that show. I've been to so many shows. I've done so many shows. I've played with all the bands I could ever think that I want to play with.
Right.
And that one was like it's in there now. Like it's up in my top area where I'm just never gonna forget that show. It was so much fucking fun. They did such a good job. It was more like proud, too, of just seeing, like, a bunch of DIY. You make you feel young again. You're just like, fuck yeah, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
You piss everyone off. You made it awesome.
Yeah.
Like, everyone had a great time. People were walking by like, kill yourself. Oh, they pissed off so many. This shirt I'm wearing has a message. Have you seen it?
Yeah, wait, yeah. It's a good one. Let me pull it up and read that.
With the woman who went postal and then the comment thread blew up.
No, that was some funny stuff because no, that's so White County.
Yeah.
But no, it was like I didn't get to go to that. I wanted to go to that. That was that like costume one.
Yep.
Yeah, because I remember seeing Stefan's the mask costume. And I was like, that's so.
Yo, he like disappeared. I was like, what the fuck happened? Like everyone kind of disappeared and then came back in costumes. Like. But when he came rolling up, I was like, you've got to be fucking shitting me. I thought, that's not a mask. He actually painted his whole fucking head green. I go over there, and he's like, oh my God, the dedication. I was like, when you play, you're going to really regret that.
That's so silly.
It turns out he used really good paint. I don't know what that was, but it stayed on his head the whole time.
That's so good.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
That's so wholesome. I wanted to go to that one.
So you've been going to music the whole time.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you this earlier, but if you go to shows all that time and you never got in a band, who was like, you need to be in a band? Because did you make that decision or?
Well, I mean, no. So I've always known. So my probably my best friends probably like Matt Johnson. Like,
yeah.
Look at that guy. Like,
I mean,
I've known him so long.
What's not to love?
Right. But, we're very, very close. I remember, like, he started that band, Bronson, like, I don't remember. It was, like, a short-lived band, and, like, that was kind of like, he was like, oh, you should learn bass and play in this band, and that never happened. But Bronson kicked off, and then...
what year was that?
That was, like, 2013, and we played 3 shows and broke up.
Yeah. Yeah.
As one does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I kind of, like, in my head knew, I'm like, if I start a band, it's going to be with Matt.
I gotcha.
that was like, it's probably going to be with Matt.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
I get that.
And then, when Violent Pact happened, honestly, it was Matt, me, and Kennedy, and then Zach. And we were like, dude, we got to do something, like, we're all in kind of like not like a rough spot, but we need to do something like positive for each other to help build each other up. And then they're like, let's start a band. And like the first year, it was a little rough. It was rough around the edges, but we started figuring it out. And then we really got it kicked off. And really, to be honest, that band was more. I really wanted Kennedy to do something. I wanted Kennedy to have a chance. Well, we all wanted Kennedy to have a chance to like get in there and show that he can like play drums.
Right.
And that was the big opportunity. We wanted that to be an opportunity for him to really show off his ability.
A jumping off point.
Yeah. Right, exactly. And so that I feel like that was successful.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, because now he's in Dry Fire and he's doing he's having fun.
They just played Thursday and killed it.
Yeah, and he's building a lot more confidence himself. And then that was the catalyst for that first band was Matt being like, dude, let's do it, and then us doing it, being like, dude, let's do it for each other and like show we can like make music, to not show everybody else.
Prove it to yourself.
Prove it to ourselves.
Yeah,
Build
absolutely.
our own confidence. Build Kennedy's confidence and fact that he's like, I can do this. This is not something that's incapable or out of my reach. And like same thing with me.
The scariest part's the first step. Everything after that,
Yeah.
You start figuring it out.
Yeah, and it was kind of unfortunate because like when things ended, it was just like a lot of like life differences and stuff going on, and there was like a lot of stress going on, but it all got work. We're all in better places. There's a lot of really cool bands coming out of it because me, Matt, and why can't I think of Will's name? Me, Matt, and Will are doing our own thing with Bryce, and then Matt's doing his own thing with him and Kennedy, and like they're doing Chain Snatcher.
Oh, I haven't heard of that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's. I can't spill too much beans.
Oh, okay.
It's not my beans to spill, but it's gonna be cool.
That's fun.
It's all the guys.
Do y'all have a name? Y'all's thing? Is this?
Yeah, this is Threat.
Threat.
Yeah, we're in a band called Threat right now. It's gonna be like a straight edge project. It's like there's.
Okay. I think Will Fisher's in it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He spilt the beans a little bit last time.
That's what it was. That's why I'm like, why does that sound so familiar?
I don't think his explanation of what we sounded like was too accurate.
Hear that, Will? Stupid bitch.
I mean, I love Will.
Will.
It was a little. We're not terror. I will say that we're like a beginning sloppy hardcore band that will eventually figure it out.
That's right.
Yep. And this first EP might not be the best thing in the world, but you know what?
It takes a little while.
It takes a little while.
Noise. Yeah.
Exactly, and I'm confident we're gonna get there.
I have that with Crows, my other band with my wife.
You're in another band with your wife?
Mm-hmm. It's like the original incarnation, we were like, let's do the 68 meets Paramore. And so we started with like that premise with like these poppy beats, but the guitar tone is that of like 68 where you run everything. One guitarist ran the bass and the guitar.
Right.
So all the tone are coming from one spot. And then it kind of morphed into like, it's like got some sub-poppy things, but it got some sad shit. But then we added some samples, and it's also got this, I don't think I can ever escape it. It's got like this southern twang about it, where like some of the riffs, got riffs, and she is singing over it, very pop-esque style vocals. And it's been really fun, but it took, we're coming into 2 years, and like I feel like last practice, it's like if we had played that practice at a show, that would have won most of the people over in the room, I feel like.
Right.
So it's just now getting to like, hell yeah, this is what it is. We can write now when we just jam, the jams are starting to sound like Crow's songs every jam session. We're
That's
not
such
like
a cool
second
name.
guessing
That's such a sick name, Crow.
Kroze.
Oh, that's cool. That's kind of new metal.
A little bit.
It is kind of new metal.
Well, you'd be fucking surprised how many fucking people have Crow in their name, so we had to think real hard, like, how do we make it different? Spell it like corn.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
That's the way to do it. No, that's super sick. I didn't know that. What all I know you're in Lame Johnny.
Yes, Lame Johnny, Shinfo. That's like our.
That's also with Scott, right?
It's both. We have Scott does in case Todd can't make it.
Oh, okay.
So Todd's the other vocalist. So I actually like it though because it's kind of this thing where he did his own thing and had his own set of vocals, and I'm like, oh, so depending on who's available, you get technically two different styles of
two kind of different shows. Two different. That's kind of cool.
It's pretty cool. And I was like, well, then you could release two different EPs. But then I thought, should we even release EPs or music at all?
Yeah.
Just keep it. It's just a live band. We built that band so we could fuck around.
Right.
So it's like, do we keep that?
That's cool.
And then of course, My Hands to War, and that's.
Yeah, My Hands to War. That's like your old.
That's like the three. With those are all the same people.
Right.
All the same people is in that. And then Crows is with a guy named Ian, and then my wife, of course, and then we're just a 3-piece.
Yeah.
So we could like tour
so
in my
cool.
4Runner.
How's My Hands to War going?
Slow.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do stuff. It's a lot of scheduling, like we were talking about. It's like it's super hard. We're all older. We all have like bigger lives. It's like it's just easier to do Shinfo because we don't have to think about it. We don't have to prep and plan and do this whole thing and make it a hoopla and get tickets and promote, because we knocked it down to like 4 shows a year because we want them to be events with My Hands to War. We want it to be something that you don't get in every show. It's like a thing. We try to make it a thing. When you come see My Hands to War, it's special, hopefully.
Right.
And it's just really hard to do that.
No, I think My Hands to War carries a lot of core memories for people.
Yeah.
It's a positive experience. Y'all have always put on a very positive show.
Yeah. We want to be crazy. We want to do, and that's harder too now. Like, we're not spring chickens, as it were. You know, we're all a little fatter. We're all a little older. We're all got some. I mean, Todd's damn near full gray headed. Like, it's.
Yeah.
It's getting, it's like, oh, shit. We fucked around and stayed a band long enough to be old.
But that's kind of wholesome. That's good, though. That means that honestly means that y'all got good chemistry.
We have a record. It's just not out.
I heard y'all's Hollow Project on YouTube. He posts all these basically bands from Arkansas from like he's got stuff from the 60s, 70s, 80s.
Whoa, what the fuck? Really?
Yes.
Oh, I need to find that.
Yeah. Hollow Project.
Hollow Project.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he posted y'all's chiptune record. Was it chiptune or what? I'm gonna look it up.
Well, we've had a couple of music videos come out, and then we had like an EP years ago that was called Isolation Blooms. And
Wait,
then the
I
record
think I sent it to Justin.
The record is not out yet. Well, unless you know Justin Cole, and then of course, then you've had it. Then you've probably heard it, but that's okay too.
My Hands to War, Gospel Canyon, 8-bit.
Holy Moses, that was like.
That was 2012.
Holy shit! Yeah, I really,
Project Hollow.
That was supposed to be a real EP, and we put out the 8-bit version first, just for funsies.
Yeah.
Because Justin was on this kick of like, I can make any song 8-bit. It was like when those programs were dropping, and he was just spending hours making songs into 8-bit songs because he's a hyper fan.
Because y'all listened to Horse the Band 3 times.
Oh well, yeah. My first show with my band Annabelle was with Horse the Band.
Really? Oh, that's awesome. I never got to see Horse the Band.
I got to see them like 2 or 3 times. They were fucking wild.
I can imagine. I've always wanted to see them.
Yeah.
That's a fun one. I've also always wanted to see like Dangers. Never got to see Dangers.
I don't even know who that is.
They're another one. They're just like a wild band.
Yeah.
I only got to see the Chariot like I think twice.
Which that blows my mind because you spent so much time at Downtown Music. Like
I did.
And they played there a handful of times.
I saw them at like Scream the Prayer.
At the Village.
Yeah. And then
that's when they put a hole in the fucking stage.
Who else have I? I don't even remember when I've seen them, but I know it's only been twice, and that makes me disappointed because I love them. They're like they bring that chaotic, like
they are
wild
the most,
punk energy that
them and Dillinger.
Yeah, that's what that always gets me when a band is like doing crazy and they're just like stacking shit on top of each other and like
shit.
Just fucking their shit up, acting like maniacs. I'm like, oh man, the stage presence, you know. They're not trying to be tough guys. They're just fucking maniacs.
They're maniacs. Yeah, we had a lot of that in our youth. My Answer War was maniacs for sure.
Yeah, I know.
We had shows would cost us money. We didn't make money. We would break something and be like,
exactly.
Oh, fuck, man.
Yeah. Like I've heard crazy stories about younger Jungle Juice and like Stan, and it's like that maniac energy. You know, that does something. You know. That does something. That gets people hype.
You see bands still having wild shit, but I feel like some of that, I don't know if it was just generations influencing generations and something got missed, but you definitely don't see the truly insane things, I feel like, too much anymore.
No.
Very, very rare that a band will come around and you'd be like, holy fuck, they are standing upside down in the ceiling. What the fuck is happening right now?
Exactly. That's what I miss. I miss that kind of thing. Because that was what, I don't know, that's what got me. It's like, I was like, fuck, dude. These people are just like really into it.
Oh, there are moments I have in my brain where I'm like looking up because, of course, they went up.
And I think Stan still carries that stage presence a little bit.
For sure. Well, we want to do it.
Right.
But we got responsibilities now.
Right.
Like, I still want to just jump through my drum set all the time. I think about it constantly from stage, like, just pick it up and throw it into the fucking crowd. But then I go, I'm going to need that next practice. Like, like I can't just do that. Because,
I'm not 18.
Because I have light bills and shit to pay. Like, my cell phone payment is past due. I can't just destroy this drum.
Right.
I need it.
There's a certain type of zealous arrogance in the youth that just makes it towards like it's like fuck the drum set. I'm off the cuff right now.
And it's called, irresponsibleness, and my dad pays my bills still.
Yes. That's the thing. My dad pays my bills.
It's much easier to destroy things when your money can be kind of just for whatever. I'm sorry, like I won't do it again.
Right. But no, that's the chariot.
Yeah, we used to call it the fatality finale. If a show was going well, somebody would be like, yo, and they would just say that, and we'd all be like, hell yeah, and that meant break everything.
Break everything. Stack the amps on top of each other.
Literally.
Stack the drums on top as well.
One of my favorite ones is at the Village, and the guitarist Dustin, he disappears into the hole. Remember the hole where they would stack all the drum kits off that ramp? And he just disappears. You're like, what the fuck? And we're like pushing shit. Bassist is ripping his strings off the fucking guitar.
What the hell?
And it's so sick. And then all of a sudden, all I see is this orange guitar just woo, 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 just come flying through the air. He just fucking like lobbed it. And it just smashes. Boom! Pick guard pops off the front of it. I'm just like, this fucking rules. I'm kicking shit over. And everyone's like, that was awesome. And you're
That's
like,
what you want.
And you're going, and I think we were playing with Sky Airplane.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that is who
Sky
we were
Eats
playing
Airplane.
with. Yeah.
No, it's Sky Eats Airplane. I haven't heard that name so long.
Well, they would come walking off, and they were like, it was one of the one times where sometimes you have those rock star moments, and that was one of them. I carry it deeply. We're walking past them, and they were like, really don't want to follow that. You guys probably should have headlined this one. I was like, fuck yeah.
That's the moment. That's when you know. That's when you know. You brought every ounce of everything you had, and you left it on the thing. It's like, we have to be better than you right now. I'm sorry about this, but fuck you for like the next 30 minutes. It's fuck you. That's so good. That's so good.
And then you know, now you're 40 and it takes a week to recover from just
you're
a
like,
regular
fuck,
show.
I really can't throw this guitar. My guitar's not.
Oh, my knees can't take it. I've been doing flooring since, high school, right out of high school. Just, life shit. But the new band, so how's that going? Are y'all show ready?
I would not say so. We've had a couple of practices. We're going to be recording, and then we're just going to keep doing that for a while and just kind of like build on top of that and see where that goes, I think.
Are you going to record and put it out, or record and just listen back to it and be like, maybe not?
I really don't know how this is going to go.
Is it like a demoing thing? Or
I think it's going to be a demo thing. But, we might, I think we are going to like record and put it out, yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the plan anyways. Yeah, don't quote me on that.
Sure.
But we
were supposed to put out a record 2 years ago. Trust me, I know how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. But No, we're gonna record, and then we might have a couple of shows lined up in late January, I think. But they're out of state. They're all the shows are out of state.
Yeah. Out of state like fest stuff, or like out of state like just cause, or
out of state because it's like I think it's mostly our friends. It's like Will and Matt's and my friends.
All the connections. Right, all the connections and shit.
Am I spilling the beans too much?
No, it's cool. Now we just have to actually be ready.
Now you're accountable. This goes live Tuesday morning, so after Tuesday morning, it's all accountability now. Now you have to.
The pressure's on Bryce.
I like out of state shit. I don't do it enough. I haven't played an out of state show in so many years.
Yeah.
Does Memphis count? I feel like Memphis doesn't count. Does it count?
I feel like Memphis does count. It's in Tennessee, even though it's like right by it.
It's like fucking 7 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's like Arkansas, and then the venue you're at is literally like right here. If you could see it, you could almost throw a rock at the border. It's like
that's true.
You're right there.
That is very, very true.
I guess it counts, but I don't feel like it is. I want to be like Nashville bound, or something like that.
It's just so close. And I've been to so many shows in Memphis at this point. It feels kind of like second home sometimes. Because you going to like Growlers, going to like High Tone. I think the last show I went there though, was actually to see City of Calipitter.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Where was that at?
That was at High Tone.
High Tone? Was it good?
City Calipitter. No. Okay. No.
I can't stand High Tone.
The band was amazing.
Right.
It's like old 90s Screams band. They're really good. But like the crowd and like all the opening bands, fucking phenomenal. But the crowd, it was like 5 or 6
Just not
people.
into it, yeah.
And it was like so little people.
Oh, yeah, no, well, yeah, we didn't play in front of too many people either, but they had like another thing booked in the other room, but it just the whole thing was in shambles.
Yeah.
Everything felt off about it. I did not have a great time.
Yeah, I was like really kind of sad. I was like, why is there no one here to see this like legendary 90s band? And I don't know what's going on in Memphis to cause that, but
things change. It happened here, remember? Everything just went away.
Everything kind of just went away.
Yeah.
And, I think a lot of that had to do with just, like, time and, like, a lot of people were, like, not younger people. Like, there wasn't a lot of exposure to younger people.
Well, that's what happened here, right?
Yeah, that's what happened here.
And then now they're having that happen.
How are these young kids even finding it?
Well, I have no clue. I've talked to them, and they just are like, oh, my brother or something. So it's like people, I guess more towards our ages were like, oh, my little brother, or maybe they're having kids. I mean, people my age all have teenagers. That could easily come to shows.
My fucking mind.
Yeah.
I was talking to these kids, and then they're just like, "Yeah, my parents are on Trusty."
Yeah.
Or my parents are they go to shows, or they went to shows, and I was like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah. My dad's favorite band is your favorite band. You're like, fuck.
I'm like,
no.
I'm your dad's age. Yeah. I'm 30. Yeah. Well, I'm 29, but I'm 30.
Yeah. No, and then I think it's maybe it could be a case too of something clearly awesome has been happening here for the last few years, and it's been a giant takeaway. Like, stop making Memphis your thing. We want you to come here, and everybody who's been trying to pull tours in and acts is just like Bitterfest, but all those like one-offs, all the dates from every genre. No, come here. Maybe slowly over the years, it didn't seem like much, but it was actually like affecting what's been going on in Memphis too. Because we're so close, why would you play both?
Also, I feel like there was a change in like how we were advertising a bit. Everything was originally like there was like a Facebook event, and then they were doing street advertisements. We were only passing out flyers to shows, right? Out shows. And like then it's all like a lot of it's moved to Twitter and Instagram.
Oh, I feel like it has to.
Yeah. And
Facebook just denies you. You put a link on Facebook, and they're like, kill it.
Yeah.
Squash it like a bug.
And so it, like, since it's been on Instagram and also more people promoting it on like different platforms, the exposure has and like I feel like with Twitter and with Instagram, the way the algorithm works a little bit differently, where people are like, yo, if like your friends' friends can see it and
right.
shit.
It doesn't suppress it.
Yeah, it doesn't suppress it. It actually like it. Really
it's geared towards virality. So every post is like show it to as many people. Whereas Facebook is like stay here.
Yeah.
Like stay here forever.
Yeah.
You know?
Your 2,000 friends and they'll only see it once.
If ever, I do this thing now with Kurt because it'll be like 6 days later.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing it.
Yeah, that's so
fuck?
weird. Or I was looking online today, and it was like a post from like 5 days ago. I was like, what the hell? Why am I getting new, like old information new?
Yeah.
I didn't even see this.
What is this, the newspaper? Like,
right? Yes.
Facebook effectively turned itself into old media. Like, what the fuck is happening? But it doesn't really seem to work. We have our best luck with Instagram and messaging, direct messaging. DMs, text messages, and physical ticket sales are like the driving force. But also, we kind of have an older fan base, so it tends to work better that way.
I wonder if like street advertisement can still work though, if you're like strategic about it, and like at least expose itself to new people. Because I don't want to I think there is something there.
I think strategize. You have to put them in like key places. You
like
can't just go.
Houses
you can't flyer dump. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like usually, you could just be like, "Here, take this." You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, because that's what I remember. Silly thing that I used to do. I don't know why, but like there would be a show that was booked, and then like I would go and I would print off the show that was booked, this flyer from like Facebook, and then I'd pay like 10 cents, and then print off a fuckload of copies at the library, and I'd just start putting them up around my city and around Searcy and around Cabot. And like I don't think it really got too much exposure, and I don't really know why I was putting so much energy into that.
Just doing what you do in your part.
Yeah, there was like a part of my brain that's like, I'm doing my part. That's really what it
Street
was.
team shit.
Right. And I wanted to do that for a long time, but
I think it still works, but it's like very, very slow. And QR codes on the flyers, like don't not do that. Like a ticket link or a link to the band, so at least people can know what they're coming to see. If they're like, oh, this looks like something I would do. Let me check. It's like mixing modern and old.
Right.
Both, at the same time. Unless you're doing an event, in which case you can't have like 400, like, Bitterfest can't have a flyer just with all those bands. How many bands played?
30.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there was 30 bands, and like there was like I think I hadn't seen 6 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you get to cross all 6 off your list?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I added all 6, and it was like really cool. I didn't see, like Integrity was a crazy big one for me, and then All Out War was a crazy big one.
Did Integrity headline the whole thing?
Yeah.
They were like the last band of Saturday.
Yes, it was wild. And then they ended the set with Hybrid Moments by the Misfits. I was like, this is just bonkers. But Integrity was super super fun. They ended the night amazing. They ended the fest amazing.
That's good.
Yeah.
A good headliner. That's probably one of the most stressful things in the world if I had to plan a fest.
Yeah. But
Who caps it?
My favorite set probably was like World I Hate.
Who?
World I Hate.
Oh.
They're like a powery violence kind of like hardcore, fast hardcore band.
Okay.
They're just like really fucking good. Really hard hitting. Awesome. Hal from a band from way back when that I really liked, Black Hole, he fronts it, and we got to talk a lot. But that was like that set was like up there for me.
Really?
And then and then Primitive Rage, and then oh god, who else? You know, Terminal Nation, Second Life did okay. So I cried during
Second
World
Life
I
did
Hate.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cried during World I Hate, and I cried during Second Life.
Oh yeah.
I did cry during Second Life.
It happens.
It was the moment when all those kids got on stage, and I was like, yeah, when all the kids got on stage, it just kind of like I was like, fuck, dude.
Uh-huh.
I was like, fuck, and then I was like, they're out there doing it, you know. I was like, and that's Matt.
I love that.
Yeah, and I was like, and that's like my friends. It's like Will. That's like Keely. You know, that's like Jeremy, Cody. Cody used to be in More Than Sparrows.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and now they're up there and they're playing this huge ass show. It's like there's the kids, you know, and they're up there going wild. And I was like, man, Arkansas.
Yeah.
You know, Arkansas's getting it. and you know, it's not small, you know.
Right. Truly having a moment for sure.
Yeah, like we're able to fit our ambitions into something now.
Right.
You know, we all had these. I feel like everybody had like these really big ambitions, these really big dreams, and you know, they had the personality. They had like the rock star personality. They had like this like big ideas, and it was like, it wasn't as easy, you know.
Oh, well, you used to get shit on for having big ideas, you know,
right.
back then. Why would you ever want to add something to something? Like, what the fuck? What kind of shitty-ass attitude is that?
Yeah.
We used to get shit all the time for doing things differently. And I totally 100% get what you're talking about.
Yeah, and now the ambition's there, you know, like they can match it. Okay, I have to pee real fast.
Do it. Kurt, what are you doing? You fall asleep yet?
I'm always asleep.
I'm always asleep. My name's Kurt. Hey, my name's Kurt. I sleep.
Whoa.
Oh.
Sorry.
Good. You're good. Cooper, get up here. Podcast.
My turn.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?
I don't know. Talk, dude. What?
About what?
What'd you do today?
Today?
Did you sleep?
I slept a good amount.
You look very tired.
Yeah. A good amount's like 5 hours.
Oh, really?
That's my good amount.
Yeah, I feel that.
And then I made regrettable decisions at the casino, and then...
He's like, what am I going to talk about? And then you're talking about regrettable casino decisions?
Yeah.
Already today.
So Rachel just mentioned
Oh.
the end of the second life set. How did you feel about that?
I thought it was really cool. I feel like we finally have, like, a new wave of people. Or, like, I made a post about it earlier, but, like, because before it was, like, my kind of, like, the group of people that started going to shows when I did, or, like, a couple years before that. And then after that, we didn't have, like, a big wave. We'd have, like, a couple here and there.
Sure.
And, like, there's a couple of people from, like, that would say, like, that are probably around, like, 25-ish years old right now. And then, like, my group is, like, in our early 30s.
Yeah.
To, like, mid-30s. But we don't have a lot of those people that are, like, in that 25 years old age range.
Yeah.
So now we got a bunch of people that are, like, 18 to, like, 22.
Right.
That we have a massive wave.
That new rush of kids coming into the scene. Every show, it's just like, oh, I don't know any of these people anymore. I only know the people that work here. Yeah. And that's a good thing.
Well, it's like a lot of them are in bands now.
Yeah.
Because they started coming to shows and they immediately, like, all of them started bands.
Well, I mean, you know, I talk about it all the time on that kaleidoscope eyes moment where you just go, and your brain sparkles and you just go, this is fucking real. Yeah. This happens in this tiny room and it's really cost effective. And like these people will talk to you after the show and it's just cool as fuck.
Yeah, very cool.
And you're putting on this larger than life persona for someone who's never even probably seen something like that. And they're losing their fucking mind in real time. And you don't even think nothing of it. Why? Because you had that moment 15 years ago.
Yeah. And then that person, they start their band, you know.
Exactly. Hell yeah.
Actually,
Switch. Hot potato. Come on. Are you doing vocals in the new project? Here.
Yeah, we're doing... Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
So yeah, I'm doing vocals in the new project. And Matt's doing bass.
Backup grunts.
Yeah, and then Will actually might be doing a little bit of vocals too while
from
doing
the
drums.
drum kit. What?
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Is he doing the barking?
No, I think he's actually doing like a singy part.
Really?
In one of the songs. Yeah, it's a little
shit.
bit more like singy, like, but kind of like
sing yell, like a yell thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Singing and kind of like almost like a new metal singing type thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fred Durst in it. Getting
that,
a burst of Durst.
Is that good way to explain that?
I don't know how he's actually planning to do it.
Threat's got a burst of Durst.
At practice
Yeah.
how he'll actually try to do it.
Right,
yeah,
right.
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah,
we'll see. And then Bryce.
Subject to change.
Bryce, he's in the band Hypertension. Shout out Hypertension. He's playing guitar.
See what y'all have? Just guitar, bass, drums, vocals?
Yep.
Just 4-piece?
Yep,
Nice.
just a 4-piece.
Keep it simple.
It's very simple. It's very simple. It's very cool.
It's the way to go. Less people to ask, hey, are you free? Can we do this?
Yeah. And I've been trying to figure, because I was like, I don't want to do the, like, I have to figure out how to make my stuff work. Because, like, for Violent Pack, it was, I would write, and then, like, what I would write would be, like, a complicated story, and then like I would have to strip it down to like being like something that just goes da 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 da, right?
The beats,
right?
Yeah.
So I had to like, and I was like, I can't make my ideas and animate them right, and now I'm like, well, I'm going to try to make it happen, and with like faster hardcore, I'm kind of more able to experiment and change like how I'm doing the vocals. So I'm like experimenting with like, you know, I guess you could say like the math of it or something.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right.
The beats and the structure. And
Yeah.
when I do vocals in Lame Johnny, I'm constantly the guitar in my hand, rethinking the part, like having the song and like writing it down and being like, da 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 da. And then I'm like, okay, no, move my hand here, do this.
Right.
Very percussive vocal stylings.
Yeah. And so I'm like, how can I change how I'm going to sing this to where it still works for the song, but it works for me more? You know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been kind of interesting.
Are you writing pre the song is done and just trying to add it to something?
Yeah. So originally, like I was like, what like I would write like a lot of lyrics, and then like I'd write a poem, or I'd write like an idea,
and then have to edit it.
Yeah, because like you know I'll have like a book that I'm writing, you know, or like I'll have like a poem, and I'm like, well, actually I could just turn this into like a song, and like, or I could like break this down, and like then you got to really extrapolate from it and take from it and like make it a little bit
What's
different.
the key points? How do I get there? Okay, I'm having to take out a lot. So, but that's super good mental practice. The removal of stuff is so much harder than the adding and trying to make it fit.
Yeah, but then like the removal of stuff, and also it's like, how can I still keep like to where it's like, and it doesn't, it's not like, it doesn't strip it down to where it's just like I find it aesthetically ugly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like keeping like
the poetry of it, and like, because I feel like I wasn't able to do that in my last band. I felt like I felt like it aesthetically wasn't pleasing to me.
You're having to get rid of the ebb and the flow of it.
Yeah, the ebb and flow of it, and like the things that I actually found beautiful about it, or the story I was trying to tell or like express, and like the vocabulary that I wanted to use.
That's a big one.
Yeah, the vocabulary that I wanted to use, and like and then like when you took away all of that, it's like, oh, this is just like a bunch of like 4-syllable words that are just like really, it doesn't fit what I wanted.
Or you're having to break a longer one up into multiples, so then it doesn't even fit that right. It's hard to, okay, I'm trying to tell a story, but this is over here, now this is here, this many beats away. Is anyone really like attaching to the whole thing? The string of words has to be. Also, sometimes, and I've done this to myself, where I'll go back and listen to something I wrote, and I'm like, actually, these lead-ins, this makes no fucking sense. Like,
well, sometimes, like I think about like, okay, so sometimes if you're gonna make it not make sense, be abstract and like do it, like be clever, have fun. Right. Like, you know, I've written some whimsical and nonsense poems. You know, that are very like, they're very aesthetically driven, right? It's more about putting like a visual image in your head, or creating like a like some kind of like image in your head and evoking an emotion, right? Where it's just like, but you know, that's with poetry. So if you're gonna do that, you know, then you need to go all in, off bounds. You know, fucking Allen Ginsberg about it. You know, Bob Kaufman. You need to just say, okay. You know, and then like fucking go all in and let it be a stream of consciousness. Right. And then like that can be honest. That can be very primal. That can be very like a beautiful thing can come from that. But you know, if you try to think too long, you know, then you can't
overthought.
You can't be abstract and like obsessive. It's either you're going to be obsessive or you're going to be abstract. Right.
You also only have like an average of like what 2.5 minutes to get the whole thing out. You know.
Oh yeah, no. If we're talking about music, that's even more so.
Right.
That's
like,
even more complicated.
Boiling that down is so insanely hard to do.
Like for example, like have you ever read like fucking the Blood Brother lyrics?
Oh, I mean, a million years ago.
Right. The Blood Brother lyrics, like, what the fuck are those guys talking about?
But
it's
it's
beautiful.
Confusing as fuck.
Yes, but it's beautiful shit. That's like the whimsical, abstract aspects that you're just like, oh fuck, John Whitney's like, what the, like, fucking wild writer.
Truly an unhinged band.
Or like, you know, like, not in like the fucking metal or hardcore genre, but like, you know, you've got artists like fucking Genesis Peorage and like Psychic TV and Throbbing Gristle, and then you've got like all like these like you know, Coil, all these like experimental weirdo fucking bands that like when they're writing, it's more about like an intense expression of emotion or like an experience or like a dream sequence, right? And then you're like, you know, it tells more to like, it's speaking to something like in your like, you know, deeper internal self.
Yeah, that's intense.
Or your deeper internal experiences, you know, that can be, I don't know, that can happen. That can be a beautiful thing. That can be spiritual. It can be nice.
Oh, sure.
You know, fucking, yeah.
Any music done right can just...
Right. Like, those things can be really fucking cool.
Wash over you like a wave of...
That's one of the reasons why I like Power
energy.
Violence so much, too.
Just could get you.
Because it could be because you can kind of like... It's just a lot more freeing. It's a lot more DIY. It's a lot more expansive.
Yeah.
There's a lot more opportunity to just go off the cuff.
The embodiment of it all.
Right.
Like, oh.
It's just so raw. It's just so electric. It's like... You can really fucking do whatever, say whatever, and you know it's not necessarily about being tough or sticking to a message. It's all, there's a lot of like abstraction there, you know, and that can be awesome as fuck.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I gravitate to those things.
Yeah, me
hard.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I love the, I guess you'd call it punk
literary
rock, like
exploration
or exploration of like. I also love the just like fuck, like especially Aim Johnny. Oh my god, it's just like it went from this whole like scope of ideas to just a giant middle finger. Anything I can throw a middle finger at, I just want to, and I love it. Like we have basically a blues rock song, and it's still just. I have so much intensity into it.
When I saw y'all, what was that? That was like Lap, Lame Johnny, Violent Pact.
Where was that?
That was at the fucking.
Full Moon.
Full Moon Records.
Yep. That show fucking ruled.
Yes. You know, that show was crazy. But y'all's performance was phenomenal.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no, it was really fucking good. And I was like, that's a badass band.
I legitimately love being in that band.
Yeah, that was a badass band. There was a lot of really cool ideas, a really like interesting like artistic exploration there.
It's a lot of simplistic things stacked on top of each other. I call it a song lasagna because I'm not actually talented. I just know enough to get by. So if I can screw with that ability, like in such a way that makes it just different enough to be able to like say sing and play guitar at the same time. I can do it simply.
Yeah.
But I can't do it complexly. Like there's no way. So I have to really play with when am I playing like a riff and when am I just kind of drilling the guitar so I can have a moment to get the lyrics out.
Right.
It's a lot of back and forth. So writing a Lame Johnny song takes, hopefully we do it like right then in that moment, but then getting the lyrics in is the harder part. Right. Sometimes I have to just throw whole parts of the song away.
Like
because I just can't do it. Yeah. Because like I either want the vocal or I want the instrument, but I just can't do it. Also, that band does something that I love where we let the song have its moment, where there just won't be vocals. Which I love. Cool. I love that.
No, breaks are good.
There's not a lot of that in music these days, where it's just, you know, just the music. Because, like, music is good, too.
Yeah, music is good.
You know, like the old, like back in the 70s, you'd have like a 6-minute long song, and like 2 minutes of that is straight up, not just like a solo or anything, but sometimes it's just the band jamming, and it's cool as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, I guess, you know.
That's where there's a lot of good ideas in that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good ideas in that.
And I get why we don't write necessarily ballads anymore. That kind of died off, but sometimes it's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's interesting to think, like, what would it be? Mammoth Caravan just did it. They have a 17-minute song.
That's crazy. I was just... that makes me think of, like, Sleep Dope Smoker.
And I think they did the whole thing live.
Yeah.
Like, actually. With Tedford. I think they set up and actually played the whole damn song all the way through. They didn't just part by part it. I think, man, I need to call Robert about that because I know he was telling me, I was like, what the fuck crazy shit are y'all on?
That's cool.
Firstly, a 17-minute song is wild in this day and age. But I guess if you're playing a set, pretty cool.
Yeah. Very, very cool.
We played two.
Live at Mutants last year.
They played a lot of music last year.
Who?
Mammoth Caravan.
Oh, yeah, they played a lot live.
I wish.
They did the 17-minute song live at Mutants.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I missed Cave-In at that, and we were...
Yeah.
Where were we? Why didn't we go? Oh, we were at Chicago.
Oh, Riot Fest?
Yeah, we were in Chicago at Riot Fest.
That would be...
That's why we didn't see Cave-In, right?
Last year?
Yeah.
2022?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah, that was in September, so that makes sense. But Cave-In would have been sick to see.
Sure.
That would have been fun.
And they had that cool-ass theater, too, which I haven't still yet to go
Wait,
to.
was that the Dreamland one?
Is that what it was? No, what was that? It's in North Little Rock.
Is that the Argento Community
Or,
Theater?
that's it.
Argento Community Theater? What's that?
It's like right next to Four Quarter.
Yeah.
Really?
Right next to Four Quarter, Kurt said. They probably won't hear him. We really got to get him a microphone.
Yeah.
A
That'd be
Kurt
good
cam and
yeah.
a Kurt mic. We really got to do that. Which we actually do have the mic. We have just been the laziest fucks and not hooked it up yet. Shout out Zachary Carlisle for loaning us the mic we haven't set up.
That's awesome.
Podcast.
What?
Goodbye, podcast.
Whoa, shit.
Was it over?
No. How'd you do that?
Magic.
He put his own face on there. That was cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Haven't seen that.
It's over now.
Okay, cool.
Whatever. Best show you've ever seen?
The best show that I've ever seen.
Second life.
Let me go through the list. I'm actually going to pull out the list now and just try to remember. Because there's been...
I just imagine you walk around with it in like a wallet and you just like... And it just keeps progressing like a cartoon, just getting bigger and bigger.
There's some...
Let's see.
There's some ones. Let me think. The craziest show I've ever been to.
I have a handful. Craziest now. Shit, I don't know. Because, like, do we count crazy as in, like, injuries? Because watching someone get hurt is a wild-ass thing to do.
I think that can be in it, but, you know, there's got to be some wild diversity. You know, there's got to be... we got to be diverse. Like, maybe, like...
Can it be a show you played?
Yes, it can be a show.
Or is that off the list?
Absolutely, you could play it. Let's see. I want to say, all right, maybe Scion Fest. One of the ones with Scion Fest with Negative Approach. I remember I was younger then. I remember just standing there, and this was like in Hard Rock Cafe, and like everybody was moving, everybody was old, everybody was kind of scary, covered in tattoos. And it was just like it was just kind of like a moment for. And I also that same night I sat with Wally from Rotting Out, and we had a glass of water together, and that was a crazy night, you know, and just seeing Negative Approach going the fuck off,
Right.
you know, that was one of them. Let me think.
Meeting-
Also, Melvin's played that.
Whoa.
Melvin's, and I like that was my first time seeing Melvin's. They're
That's
fucking
cool.
huge sound.
I've never seen the Melvins. That's badass.
Yeah, Melvins are super super sick. That's one of them. Maybe recently, still Charlie XTX. That was
What is that?
Charlie XTX. She's like a pop artist.
Okay.
She does like, you know, like girly pop music.
Where was this at?
Texas. It was probably the gayest show I've ever been to, and I mean
Wait
in
a
a positive way. I'm like,
Wait a minute. I think Kaylee might have been at that. When was that?
Dallas. Oh,
Was that in the summertime?
yes, it was.
I think Kaylee was at that.
Is that your wife?
Yes.
Oh yeah, probably so.
Well, because she
Like,
went to
it was
two
nothing
shows
but,
there, and
like-
that sounds so familiar.
It was like nothing but girls and like
That's what she. Yeah.
gay people.
Yes.
So they're gay people.
Well, she's there with her two gay friends.
There we go.
That has to be the same show.
It
'Cause she
was.
was like, it was the craziest thing.
It was a line like that wrapped around the building out the door, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was like crazy as fuck, and Baby Tate played it, and Charlie XCX, and it was just,
That is it.
it was very big. She's a very talented artist. It was a very big experience. It was very fun,
That's fun.
super awesome. Charlie XCX is up there. Saw 100 Gex at like a long ass time ago in St. Louis, and that was a really crazy show because they were still young, but they were still a newer band, but but where they just had released like their first few, like that first like Money Machine just came out. And so, like, it was still real hype, but it wasn't too hype. Like, Anthony Fantano didn't touch it yet, really.
Right.
If I remember right. And, like, it was really, 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 really fun. It was, like, big crowd, a lot of cool queer people. And I got to see a lot of friends that are, like, out of state that I hadn't got to, like, make friends with, like, in person. Like,
like internet friends.
Yeah,
okay.
like, internet friends that you wouldn't expect
fun.
to see there.
Right.
But they were, like other trans people that are just like, oh, yeah, like, I came here and migrated from so-and-so to come see this,
right.
you know? And you're like, oh, that's so cool. And then so it was kind of like a weird internet reunion, like internet union.
Yeah, you just never know.
Yeah, so that was a really fun one. Also, I saw Machine Girl in a house at Pine Street.
Pine Street.
Pine Street, yeah. Pine Street was a really cool venue in Little Rock.
Yeah.
Loved Pine Street.
I played there once.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I've had, like, all my friends, I never lived at Pine Street, but all of my friends have lived at Pine Street. And I've spent so much time at Pine Street, Hollow House, the fucking Starlight House.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all the house show, Gaines Street, you know, the fucking...
Is there any houses anymore?
Okay, so we just got a house.
Oh, okay, there we go.
We just got a house. We're actually moving in on the 15th. We're going to see how it goes. We're going to let some...
like you, actually.
I got a house.
I see.
So we're going to see how it goes with letting a couple of our friends maybe practice there.
Just to test it out with
just
the neighbors
to
and
test
shit.
the water and shit. And if things go well, who knows?
Right.
You
Maybe
know,
one or two.
Maybe one or two. Exactly. Maybe one or two.
Don't overdo it.
Right. But we might let that happen. Keep it small.
Interesting.
And no drugs, no alcohol. Big solid rule.
Right, yeah.
Because
the cops come, you don't want that shit.
I don't want that. And honestly, you know, we've got spaces for that. We got enough spaces for that. We've got Pizza D. We've got Vinos. And I love those
all
places.
the venues.
Yeah, all the venues. And I love those places. Massive respect for them. Awesome spaces. And they've been here for years. But I do think there needs to be, one, a queer-friendly space. Mm-hmm. You know, a space where it's like, oh, this is like very queer space. And then two, this queer space isn't an alcohol space.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like a place where we're like out getting...
I think if you got the possibility of cops showing up anywhere, don't do it. As a person who's been in handcuffs because of alcohol being at shows, and there's underage drinkers going on. This was in my 20s, but not great. Not fun. Real fucked up.
And that's another thing. I really want that to be kind of controlled in regards to like who is there.
Right.
Because, you know, as much as like, you know, I want young kids to come to shows, like it can kind of get kind of weird with like a bunch of young kids at my house.
Absolutely.
You know, all ages is cool, but also it's like at my house, you know,
sometimes it isn't.
I don't want to have to be responsible for that kind of environment.
Right.
Right. Because there's a lot of responsibility that comes in that. There's a lot of keeping your fucking guy out and work. Mm-hmm. But if it's like my friends, like close friends and shit, people that I've known for ages and ages and
Absolutely.
ages. I want to try to keep, at least for the first like few times.
Yeah.
Just checking it out and testing the waters, seeing how I feel. Natalie's like gun ho, and I was like, no, let's go all in.
I'm playing the first show. You're playing the second show. We're going.
Yeah. Anybody can come. It's going to be fun. It's going to be wild. And I'm just like,
we'll have the whole yard of people. We'll put a TV on the porch.
Yes.
We'll film it so they can see.
Yes, that's what she wants. And I'm just like, no, we got to keep it controlled. We got to keep it controlled.
And we'll only do one because the cops are definitely coming.
But there has been a couple of houses that have popped up. It's been kind of low key. Like, I know there's been that one that's like, it's like there was like the night before BITR, the pre-show, there was a house show that night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and all these like DIY punks were like, hey, Rachel, like you should come to this. And I was like really torn. I was like, do I want to go to this or do I
pre-show at Vino's
but I was like, no, I got to go to the pre-show at Vino's. So I went to the pre-show at Vino's to support like, you know, Dryer Fire, because that's the homies, and Death
Rattle.
Yeah, those are all my homies. Mazinko, Death Rattle, and Dryer Fire. Those people are my friends. I want to be there to support them. So I went there instead. But like, I also want to support house show venues like that. Yeah. We need to bring that back.
Yeah. I feel that. Yeah,
Pine Street was a was a home for a lot of people. I mean, it was a home in the sense that it was a home, and then it was a home in the sense that it was like.
And there's also just house shows have like they have bands that belong in houses. Like there's this thing where some things just don't work on. You know what I'm saying? Like
okay, the craziest show. The craziest.
And some of my favorite shows I've ever played in my life are in houses.
Yes.
Just everyone's same face. You're just sweaty as fuck. You're screaming in a microphone. And everyone's feeling the same shit. You're just like, this fucking rules.
The craziest show.
Burn this motherfucker to the ground.
was okay. Starlight. It was I totally didn't even think about this, but it was. I got crazy house show stories. Starlight. This person was getting in a fight with my ex-partner, and then because they were, it was a bunch of like old, crusty, like out-of-state punks that you'd never seen before in your life, and they were there. They were just like, there to wreak havoc and go crazy.
Yeah,
right?
The crust punks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a bunch of these guys, and then they start trying to fight my partner. And then I start trying, like, I'm having to fight them. And then, like, all this time, there's this band, Maux that's playing, Maux Leche. They're playing, and the room's going fucking nuts already. They're trying to find my partner. Then my friend gets on top of something and is jumping onto them. And then we're all fighting. And then this brawl occurs. Where it's, like, all these, like, crusty out-of-state punks are fighting locals.
Oh, my
like,
God.
local yokels. And just, like, shit's going crazy. All while this band, Maux Leche, is playing.
They're probably like, well, we killed it. Did you see how many mosh pits there was?
It's just in this guy's living room. It's in Starlight. And that's
that is nuts.
And then, like, the thing is, I remember, so I was in high school. I was just in high school, I think. And so one of my friends, she had never been to a show. Ever.
That's the first experience.
That was the first show she went to. Her boyfriend was an old best friend of mine. And she was like, you know, she was talking to me and my partner, and she's like, you know, don't tell him that I'm going to a show yet. I think you want to be the first person to take me to a show, but I really want to go to the show tonight. I want to see what it's like. And I was like, yeah, dude. So it was like me and my partner, and then like my other friend, Sin Ellis, and we were like, dude, you can, come to the show. So we all go, and then they're just sitting. I just remember seeing them in the door frame, and they're just like
mortified.
They're just like, their eyes just like, they're just like, what the hell?
Well, you're either never coming back to a show ever again, or
They're like, that's the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Oh,
and
what's the next one?
Exactly, and that was the reaction.
Good.
That was the reaction. They're like, I want to do this all the time. I want to come back, and I was like, of course you do.
It always happens. If you're prone to, you know, any amount of like craziness, you're just sucked right in.
You're sucked right in. They're like, you'll go outside. There's that half pike outside. So she's just like watching people skateboard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's watching people skateboard. Goes in, sees a brawl happening, walks back outside.
What a day.
Sees like 4 or 5 bald chicks, and she's just like, "What is going on?"
You're not going to bed that night. Yeah, you're not going to bed.
Absolute culture shock. And then she goes back to BB, and she's just like, man, what am I doing here? I'm going to go to Little Rock.
It's just from that to literal crickets at night.
Yes!
Fucking hell.
Yeah. That was a crazy house show experience. And then Machine Girl playing Pine Street. Honestly, when Starlight had that small, tiny, they were using like that small, tiny little space that had that bathroom in it. And I remember somebody was in the bathroom. They walked in the bathroom while the band's playing and was using the bathroom. They were throwing toilet paper from the bathroom stall. I remember it was just the crazy. I think that was actually Rob Traylor that was doing that. Sorry, it was just a crazy.
Was Starlight the one where they play in the kitchen?
So there was So Starlight had many
versions. Okay.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember. I know I've been there.
Yeah. So there were times where they played in the lawn, outside on that skate thing. There were times where
there's like that back room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played there.
Yeah, and then they played in the back room, and then they also played in the living room space.
Was there like a fireplace in there for some reason? I'm trying to remember.
Yes, I think there was.
Yeah.
And then in Pine Street, I saw a band called Pope and Nouveau downstairs, and then I've seen them play shows upstairs.
Oh, okay.
And then there was Blue House in Conway, and then Kyle's house. Kyle related to Chris Flores. He used to have house show houses too in Conway. And so, like, there's been houses.
Yeah.
All of them are crazy. All of them are cool.
Yeah.
I've seen absolute wildness. Food fights at Gain Street.
But it makes perfect sense because it's like we have nowhere to go, and we're like the outliers of the outliers. We want to do the wildest shit.
Yeah.
So of course it's going to be crazy. It's
Right.
supposed to be. It's
Right.
it's like bred to be just wild. But it's one of my seriously some all time favorite moments.
Yeah,
It's
you don't get food fights at venue spaces. You get food fights at house show houses, and I've experienced that.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah,
Thanks, Scott. Yeah.
I've seen.
Yeah.
I've seen.
We did one the
that-
yard in the back of
Yeah,
Scott and
that did happen at Scott's and Chris's.
Chris. Yes, thank you. Woo. Yeah,
Yes.
that was
That was nuts.
like 500 hamburger buns and fucking Jacob Murray's bitch ass hurling would wad him up and hurl him at me. One of them hit me right in my fucking throat. I was like, what the fuck, dude? That actually hurt.
That's crazy. See, I witnessed the mashed potato fight
Oh
at
no.
Main Street. It was just like that happens at house show houses.
Oh, for sure, food fight. I don't know if I want mashed potatoes all in my guitar. and
No, I
shit.
don't
That'd
want
be
that
so
either.
bad.
And then I have this other memory. It was a cover show. Okay, it was a Halloween cover show. It happened at Gain Street. This was another one of those.
Was that this year?
This was so many years ago.
Oh, okay.
It happened at Gain Street. Okay, I remember my friend Walt. He just did that movie Memo, which is about aliens.
We had him on here about it.
You did?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So Walt Walt was in like this like cover band for Nirvana. And they brought Walt out, and he was dressed in like a hospital outfit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody, it's Halloween, and like he starts playing Nirvana, and then I see Ted, and Ted's wedged himself. He's climbed on top of people, okay, and he's wedged himself to where he's holding himself up by the ceiling and by like his feet on the wall, and he's jumping, and there's like a bed that's being surfed on because they're holding this fucking like. They're holding like this fucking like not the box spring, but like the actual bed thing.
The mattress.
Yes, they're holding the mattress. So there's like this like memory where I'm hearing this guy scream, "Back the fuck up! Back the fuck up!" Because Walt's on the ground and everybody's on top of Walt just screaming "Big Cheese."
What the fuck?
And then like, and then Ted's like jumped on top of these people onto a fucking huge ass bed, and I was like, this isn't. And my brother's outside. My little brother, it was one of his first shows, and like,
You got a hell of a track record for bringing people to house shows in their first time.
Yeah, their first time always
seeing
crazy.
absolute chaos.
Just absolute fucking chaos. Fucking jumped on top of that couch, not the couch, but the bed, and was like riding on it, and then that was a pivotal moment. You know, that was a really cool because like I think Elgin was like both people from that TV show. What is that stupid TV show?
Oh, don't ask me.
Beavis and Butthead.
Oh,
He was both Beavis. He dyed half his hair black, half of his hair.
He was hand butted.
He was Beavis and Butthead at the same time, and he was in the Nirvana cover band. It was
phenomenal.
Fun. Yeah, it was super fun. That was a crazy house show.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if well, I've got a few wild ones. The riot that happened outside of Vino's at one time. Girl broke her back one time while we were playing.
Really?
Got stomped.
What the hell?
Fell down. You know, it was an accident.
Yeah.
But fractured her spine.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those things where people were pulled out by ER.
One of the shows I threw, I watched a guy's fucking arm go around someone's forehead, and I mean it like a noodle. Just was like, oh shit! It was like dangling. Snapped both the bones, just completely off. Disgusting.
Downtown Music Hall. I remember this one. Like I remember my friend Jonathan Paul.
I saw a bunch of people get hurt at Downtown Music Hall. That's where the broke back girl that happened.
Yeah,
there.
it was that ledge.
Yes.
No, the ledge was I don't know why they did that. We were all like, dude, we just gotta remove that ledge. If they just removed that ledge, so many back injuries would be
right. not a thing.
Yes, there was this guy, I remember Shane Evans, he slammed Jonathan right into that ledge and
Ooh, shit.
And then Jonathan went solid fucking white. And I was like, dude, I think Jonathan's dead. I think this is it. I think we
Kill
killed
Sean.
JP. And then JP, of course, he didn't die, but he went to the hospital that night. That's where that place was awesome,
Yeah.
but that place was crazy.
Crazy.
That was where I saw the most fights, and it was always some dude in a cowboy hat and a Pantera shirt.
Yeah.
It was always some weird guy that's never been to shows, and then Stan would be like...
Or they used to go when it was like a completely different place, and then they come back because it still exists under the same name, and they're like, this isn't what I remember.
Yeah, where's the butt rock?
Yeah.
Where's Disciples of the Death Totem? Sorry.
What?
There's that.
Is that a real band?
That was a real local
Oh,
band.
okay.
They're like, I want to see Sonic 180. That was another local band. But, there's just like some really, there was some bands that existed.
Band names, they're so much fun.
I
I always feel like mine are like kind of normal-ish, like especially for the time, like they fit the era they're in. But some of these bands, especially today, because you got to be original, the band names now are
are rough.
Yeah, so rough.
Cause you gotta do back research on Wikipedia and then like Last FM and then like Discog and you're like
check out Reverb, check out Instagram, Twitter, like you name it.
Oh yeah.
Search down every single thing. Go, well, there's only 20 bands named this. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I think
or if you're real lucky, they're overseas.
Right.
That's like, oh, awesome.
That's how you do it. You're just gonna eventually just have to use like inaudible like symbols.
Just noises.
Just noises.
It's just symbols or we're
like
just
Chopin.
exclamation point.
No, I think Chopin's not a noise. I thought that was like.
Well, Prince was a symbol for a while.
Huh?
Prince
was a symbol.
Yeah.
Prince was a symbol.
I think he did that for record contract problems, but
really,
I think so.
That's cool.
Why would you do that? You already had the most iconic name in music.
My dad always told me it was because he was just an artist.
Maybe it was.
My dad was just like, no, he's just an artist. Like, he does that.
It's a weird form of expression.
Yeah.
I want to be known as this. Or there's that Key and Peele skit where they do the football players, and one of their middle names is literally construction noises. Like, he opens his mouth and just like jackhammers are coming out of his mouth. It's so funny.
See, yeah, that's how we're gonna have to get sooner or later with these band names. The older the world becomes.
Yeah. You're going to have AI sift through all the things and be like, no one has this yet.
Right. And like there's just so much, and it's like also you got to like that's why it's like you got to be creative, but also it's getting hard. That's why we got some of these goofy ass names like gum spelled with 2 M's.
Oh yeah. No. What if we did it with 3 M's though?
What if we did it with 4?
Yeah. It just keeps going. We're gum with 7 M's. Welcome
we're
to the
7M
show.
Gum.
We're 7M Gum. It's not a bad band name.
Yo, we're 7M Gum.
But it is just spelled GU and then 7 M's, but your name is 7M Gum.
Yes.
See?
7M Gum sounds kind of hard though.
Feel free to take it. That was a good session of like what could a band name be? That's it. Because it's so hard, but also you have to be good. You can't have a band name like 7M Gum and suck because then both things suck.
Yes, because then they're just gonna be like, man, that's some butt rock.
Yeah, that's some straight shit. The name is shit. The band is shit. Don't waste your time.
Right.
Because you'll get them with the name once.
Yes, a name sells. A name is it's branding.
Right. Well, The Stranger, then it's like, well, I'll pop in and see whatever the fuck this is. And
yeah,
it's
that's
like,
kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's like, wow, they were badass. Hell yeah, I fuck with this. And now everyone can just turn their phone on and be like, here, show me your playlist and your Instagram. And
what band is just named band name?
There was a band called The Band.
Really?
Yeah. In the 70s, 60s, something like that.
Oh, that's
I think it was just called Band.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, it's like Yes, The Who.
Oh, I fucking love Yes.
It was in the era
and I
of,
love The Who. Actually,
I got to see The Who.
No, you did.
Yes, I did.
That's cool. See,
it was so badass.
I love like that.
Last year.
I love that like Northern Soul shit, and I love like old mod shit. I love like old skinhead mod shit. So I love The Who. Like, did you ever watch Quadrophenia? You watched Quadrophenia?
No, I did. I know what it is, but I haven't, and I should. But also, like my dad was super into that because he's from that era.
Oh, really?
So like the 70s, 60s, 70s, and not really the 80s. He kind of was like, because that was when like hair metal took over.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, we don't do that.
We don't do hair metal.
Yeah. And we didn't. I didn't get into hair metal till honestly just a few years ago when I found out they're actually doing mad riffs. Like, if you take the vocals off, the music is insane. There are riffs for days. Riffs, just riff. I'm like, fucking, this is nuts. Huh?
I could never get into it. See,
I can't. I don't like the vocals. I'm not a fan.
Like, I watched Decline of Western Civilization, which was the third one. It just maybe it was the third one, the second one. It just kind of ruined that whole thing for me. I don't know. I was just like, there was that band like Faster Pussycat, and then like,
so many.
There were so many, and like I listened to a couple of them. I was like, hair metal just never kicked off for me.
Yeah, no.
But honestly, I had a hard time getting into metal. Me and punk, we went smoothly.
Sure.
But it was like metal. I always was like, that's why I liked hardcore before I liked other stuff. It's just like it take time.
Hardcore makes sense if you like punk. If you like punk, you like hardcore. I feel
right,
like
exactly.
It's kind of the more angrier version of it.
Right.
And then metal also has this thing where it's just like it's been around because rock and roll. I mean, they used to think Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, that was heavy metal.
Yeah.
You listen to that now, you're like, that's what my grandpa listens to.
Yeah.
But that's just how things go. And now, but they've been around.
But I do love that older shit.
Fucking long. Oh yeah, I love Black Sabbath.
I love Black Sabbath. And I love like Pentagram.
I have all my dad's original records, and I have the very first run.
That's cool.
Black Sabbath first record. It's old as shit, and it looks old as shit because it is old as shit. But I still have it, and I still every now and then I'll get real brave and put a needle on it and listen to it for a little bit.
Just you can't scratch that.
It's like I don't want it to get any more like physical damage than it already has.
Preserve that.
Yeah. Well, especially now that he's gone, it's like that's all I really have. I don't have too much of his stuff. So it's kind of all that's around is a record collection, a guitar, and a couple of photos.
Yeah, you don't really think about that until...
Yeah. Why would you? I mean, I shot half of it with a BB gun when I was a kid. I did. Like a piece of shit. I was a fucking hell spawn.
Same.
You can't leave children alone.
No, you
I was
can't.
from the latchkey generation. Like, we all had keys to our homes. You walked home a mile, literally, from a bus that dropped. They didn't come to your house and shit. Dude, at the end of the fucking block.
Yeah, I experienced that.
And then you got to walk home, your keys in your backpack. All the backpacks came with key spots. Do you remember that? Are you old enough to remember, like,
see, my mom
wallets,
always just put a key in a secret spot.
Wallets and backpacks had, like, a little key flap.
Oh,
and you would
really?
have the key and just open the door and go fucking cook you some food, and you're fucking 12.
See, that's what... I mean,
your
I did do that.
parents are at work.
Yeah, that did happen, but it was more where we had, like, a secret rock that had something in it.
Right. Oh, the plastic fake rocks.
Plastic fake rock, or, like, some kind of, like, hollowed-out thing.
And then you're doing, like, you only have... 10 fucking channels. We were poor as shit, so we had like whatever was free, the antenna channels.
See, we were out there. I was like, all right, let's fill up the spaces on like the waterway, like with rocks, and let's make a swimming pool.
That's exactly it. So you get bored immediately because you have nothing to watch. Fuck TV.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go outside and do dumb shit. Like shoot my dad's record collection with a fucking BB gun.
Dude, I'm gonna be real. I would fucking melt
He should have beat the fuck out of me, 100%. Because I shot some real money.
Did your dad cry a little bit? Like, I feel like that probably broke him a little bit.
Probably not in front of me. I only saw my dad cry one time.
I saw my dad cry all the time.
My dad was not overly masculine, but he was tough as nails.
Really?
So it's just like it took a lot to get him there. The only time I saw him cry was when, I guess twice. I should take that back. When his parents passed away.
Yeah.
Like, that's tough.
That is very tough.
Yeah. But...
I see that's so, like, a lot of people actually have a very similar story to that, where with my dad it was always, I saw him cry all the time, and then he would explain to me why he would cry.
Well, see, he was the one that would get in trouble for having emotion. Like, his generation, his dad was military, they moved around, you know how that is.
Yeah.
Like, that's the same old story.
Yeah.
Oh, you think that hurts? You should try watching your friend's head explode,
No.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't go to war yet. I'm not really old enough.
See, my grandpa was like, he drew blueprints for the trains and shit, and like he was
cool.
Yeah,
like an engineer.
He was an engineer.
Dope. My grandpa was an engineer.
Your grandpa was an engineer?
Sure was.
That's so cool.
Oh, yeah. Was in the Air Force. Worked with NASA. Like, did all kinds of neat shit.
Yeah, and I just recently found out like I come from like a crazy generation. Like my grandpa, the only person that's not a Mason and wasn't not like a master Mason was my dad. Like my grandpa, my great grandpa, my great grandpa's dad, and like most of his brothers and my grandpa's brothers, and goes back far, are all master Masons.
Wild. So
and
your
my
dad was like, nah.
Well, I don't think like the thing is like they never talked about it. No one talked about it.
Yeah, you don't talk about it.
Another
Fight
crazy
Club.
thing. So, my great grandpa was married to a woman of the Eastern Star. My grandpa was not, but my grandmother, her dad, and his wife were both Master Masons of the Eastern Star.
Whoa.
What the fuck?
Oh no.
What the fuck is that?
Something going on there.
There is.
Yeah.
I think about that constantly.
Dad, why didn't you ask more questions? I need answers to this shit.
Like, I was like, what do y'all do? Like, I get that it's just like a fraternal social club. Really, that's what it is. But I was just...
they want you to think.
You know, because then, like, you know, but like there's some interesting stuff there. Like, but like the thing is, like, our house was full of like Masonic motifs.
Oh yeah.
So I've recently gotten to collecting like Masonic motifs. I think they're very interesting, like little images and like, you know, salt and pepper shakers and like weird like doilies and shit.
Isn't it weird that everything had merch back then?
Everything did. Everything had merch.
Oh shit! It's something that's popular. Make everything it.
Yes.
Like.
So I've been collecting like vintage weird Masonic imagery from my grandparents' house.
Like everything would have a custom cup. Everything. If
That's
it was
so cool.
popular, they would make a custom cup. Oh, cigarettes are cool. Make it a cup.
Marlboro.
Marlboro cups. Oh, chicken nuggets are cool because they just invented those. Make chicken nugget cups. Like
chicken nugget cups. No, that's honestly that's a good idea.
Movies.
That would
Every
sell.
fucking movie had a cup. And now if it's a tent pole, now you get a popcorn bucket, which I do collect a couple of those.
You collect those? Yeah, that's good. See, I collect a lot of things.
I have nerdy tendencies.
I do too. I collect a lot of shit. I've kept every flyer that anybody's ever put in my hand. I have every flyer all the way back to.
See, I wish I had done that.
Yeah.
I really regret not doing something of that nature because I
Yes.
forgot so much.
Stickers, I have all the stickers, and
That's dope.
Whenever I've had to like take the sticker, like I was done when I put a sticker on something, I just scraped it up, put it on a piece of paper, cut the paper out to that shape, and I have that with the flyers.
I have anxiety about that. I'm not gonna lie now because I love stickers now. I'm like, fuck. Where does it go? Where does it go?
I've kept every single one obsessively. I'm very autistic and very like weird, so I've kept like all the flyers, all the posters, all the stickers,
A list of all the shows.
a list of all fucking I collect records, cassettes.
So if you
CDs.
go in, you go in deep. You
Yeah,
just dive right in and
I do.
stuck. Yeah.
I do, and like I've had to let go of band shirts. That's something I've told myself I'm not going to keep it all.
They start to take up so much space.
Yeah, I had 187 shirts.
Holy shit!
Yes, I had been keeping them. And like my girlfriend, my partner, my wife, she was like, we got to get rid of this shit.
That's so
You
many
got to let
fucking
things
shirts.
go. And like also it's like I'm so fucking neurotic. She'd be like, let's just donate it to Goodwill. I'm like, fuck you. We're not donating it to Goodwill.
So all this is worth money.
No, it wasn't sell it. It's like I got to give it to people.
Who really want it?
Who really want it, or they don't know what it is, and then they get this this fucking shirt from like, you know, like I don't know, like Cost or like Page 99 or like, you know, Satia or like some like old like screamo band or old hardcore band, right? And then like they get that shirt and they're like, oh, I have a new favorite band. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They
Absolutely.
have a new favorite band.
Well, that's cool. At least you made sure it went somewhere where it wouldn't just be tossed.
Right, and that's the thing. She's like, no, we just need to give it to Goodwill. So like I've given away so many shirts.
I don't think we own that many pairs of clothes, like items of clothing.
Well, I was just like collecting it from like when I had shirts. I had like the fucking Great Commission, like fucking For Today shit, like unnecessary shit, like Miss May I from like Hot Topic. Like I had like shit that you just don't
basically just weren't throwing shit away.
I don't throw shit away. Yeah. It's really bad. And so like I've got all these band shirts, and I'm like, then I was like the scene revival came back. I'm like, good, it's time to get rid of this stuff.
It's time to fucking unload.
Yes, there's people that want this like bad scene merch. I know they do.
Oh, you hop in some of those group chats or some of those not a group chat. What's the shit? The public pages. some of those like music pages where they're like everybody's from this era loves this kind of music. You just drop links. I see people all the time in the Furnace Fest one. I got this cord
Evergreen
of
Paris
CDs.
shirts.
Yes,
Fucking, they're just like
they're mediums. Who wants them? And a lot of people just give it away.
Yeah, or fucking. Oh man.
But there's some iconic old merch where when you see it, you just go, "Oh man, I remember that."
Like what?
Just like the one of my all-time favorites was the pink X Under Oath shirt.
Yeah.
And the X was like over the heart thing, and it's like the nerdiest, most screamo
or
shit
where they had
in the
the
world.
Print like on the sleeve, like
Yes.
like the name on the sleeve, or like the side of your shirt on the back or something. You're like, what the fuck? Just crazy shit.
Oh, the full all over. Oh, when the all over print was happening with the big giant full.
Oh yeah, that
full
too.
chest. The scene shirts as they were called, bright
two.
colors. It's like a shark eating a goldfish.
Those two, yeah.
Yeah.
I had a lot of trash.
Yeah.
But you know, it all finds homes and stuff. But I had to let go of shirts, and then I've also had to let go of like DVDs and VHS because I also collect DVDs and VHS, and I also collect I collect a lot of shit, dude.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I've got like VHS, DVDs,
Got the
records.
obsessive compulsive thing.
Yeah,
on lock,
it is a little bit of that, to be real.
I do that from time to time, but then I stop myself because I'm poor.
And
that helps.
I'm really into like religion. I'm
like artifacts.
No, just that too, but like religious text.
Oh, okay.
And I read a lot. I'm like really big into like, you know, right now I kind of am like interested in like Judaism, and I'm also interested, like I'm reading and studying Judaism, and like I'm reading and studying like ceremonial magic and like thelema. And so, like, I've been studying a lot of that, but I was, like, really into, like, Eastern philosophy.
Yeah,
and so, like, I've been, and also artifacts, yes, where I've been collecting and, like, reading and learning shit.
Wow,
and, like,
that's cool.
Like, a lot of, like, different kinds of, like, Buddhism and shit like that. So, I've been trying to build more an expansive library and, like, basically, you know, trying to, like, study that.
That's cool.
Because a lot of those old books and like grimoires and shit is expensive. Like if you're getting like real shit, it's expensive. Yeah. So it's like it's costly.
Absolutely.
But it's cool shit. And so I've got a lot of books. I collect a lot of books.
A lot of books too. Damn.
Yeah, I collect a lot of books. I've got one of my favorite things is I got like a very, very early edition of like Allen Ginsberg's Kaddish, Allen Ginsberg's Howl. I've got like a second edition of like Naked Lunch by William S. Burroughs.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I collect like a lot of old books.
You got a lot of shelves.
No, we do.
You need a lot of shelves.
I need a lot of shelves. I keep. That's why I was online. I was like, dude, I gotta get a more bookshelf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta go find a movie place going out of business. They have those open face shelving just all in there, so you can just show off all your cool shit.
Yeah.
Here's
also,
every
I collect
movie.
autographs.
Autographs?
Yes, I'm.
That's pretty easy to collect, though.
Well, yeah, I'm really into old Hollywood autographs.
Oh, like that. Oh, I
yes,
see.
And I'm really
memorabilia stuff.
Memorabilia stuff. I like old Hollywood autographs, and I collect iconic queer autographs. Like I've got like or like iconic like queer actresses or trans actresses or queer directors and shit like that. I've got a lot of autographs, and I'm really into that. So I got a lot of that. Hollywood memorabilia shit. I like that shit too.
Yeah.
A lot. But like
I did when I was younger. I really liked like you could buy like the cuts of the actual film.
Oh yeah,
I was really into that for a while. Yeah.
I have my favorite autograph that I have is Kenneth Anger. I have a Kenneth Anger tattoo. He's my favorite director. Right here, Kenneth Anger.
Oh yeah.
He's he was an early queer horror movie director. He directed. This is a pretty interesting fact. He directed the first queer like body horror film, and he almost went to prison for it.
Whoa.
Yeah, he was
because it was illegal, or
it was illegal.
Okay.
He was like, and he was a teenager.
Was it in this country?
Yeah, it was in California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was born and raised in Beverly Hills, and he was like a queer like a cult, like he was immersed in like the occult and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he directed some of the first like surreal queer like body horror films and horror films. Sorry, is this going on too long?
No, it's fascinating. I'm just like,
okay, so I don't.
Sorry, I'm zoned in.
Sorry,
I like when people are passionate about shit.
Yeah. So he directed like this movie called Fireworks, and Fireworks. One person did get arrested for it. Yeah,
I think I've heard about that.
Yeah, and he himself.
Arrested for making a movie.
Yeah, he himself went to court, and then like he had to fight court because the movie was just so sexually controversial.
Provocative,
yeah. And actually, Allen Ginsberg, I remember. No, it wasn't that movie. That was actually Scorpio Rising. Scorpio Rising, he actually had to go back to court again.
Damn.
Yes, because that movie was incredibly sexually controversial too, and they were not happy about it. And then they had to fight for like copyright rule like shit, and also just like censorship.
Right. Back in those days, I feel like that was a lot of things.
Yeah, he was making queer movies in like the 40s and the 60s.
That's wild.
That was when his peak ended about 60, 70.
Just from old age, I would assume.
Yeah, he just recently died, actually.
Damn!
Yeah, he was born in 1921, and he died this year.
What the fuck?
He died in May.
No quit.
Yes, and the day that he died is when I got his tattoo.
Was that ironic or just
no?
It was like
I saw like okay, so I'm actually like obsessed with him.
Gotcha.
Like, he's like a special interest of mine.
Sure.
I collect all of his shit. I've read all of his. I'm just like my brain is like immersed in this weird man. He's problematic. He's like got a lot of problematic qualities, but I really like him as a fucking movie director. Yeah, he as soon as he died, I was following like everything that I could and like his close friends and people that were still involved in his life. And then I was like, I immediately was like, all right, I'm gonna call into work. Called into work while I probably messed up with me, and then I was like, I gotta get this tattooed, and I got his autograph tattooed on my leg.
That day.
Yeah, that day.
I get that.
Yeah, that day. And I was gonna actually get his portrait. I've been thinking about getting his portrait tattooed on me, but that's my most proud autograph that I have.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's a check that he got in like 85.
Whoa. From
Forrest Ackerman, who was a Z horror movie mild director, but also just kind of like a cult horror film director, and like he directed like weird B movies, and he also like collected shit. He was like a collector of like Hollywood memorabilia and shit, and he was really well known in Hollywood and like the underground community. And he was putting on like a conference, and he paid Kenneth Anger $150, and then that ended up in some kind of like collection somewhere for a very long time, and now it's in my hands. It's at my house.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That's
so
badass.
I've got his autograph. That's probably my favorite one. And then I've got Amanda Lepore, and I love her. I wanted to get Candy Darling, but hers is in the upper thousands.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, she's a trans actress from like the 60s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she worked with a lot with like Andy. I could go on about this for hours. She worked with Andy Warhol, but
gotcha.
If we need to cut it short soon.
Well, how long have we been going?
6 hours.
Are you serious?
No.
Fuck.
I would be asleep. I'm
2 hours and 8 minutes.
That's perfect.
Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah, that's the perfect podcast length, I think.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
You want to? Y'all have Instagram and shit yet for your band?
We do not. We're working on it.
Got to get on it. So nothing really to like promote, I guess. So do you have
yet.
any like thing you're about to do that you want to promote?
At the time, I'm mostly working on the Threat stuff.
Okay. So look out for Threat.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's about it right now.
All right. And we're all on the internet. Crashcast Pod, Twitter, Crashcast Pod 1. This has been badass. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being late at night, actually. I'm actually glad because today I actually needed the rest, and I appreciate the shit out of it. Thank you for listening. Peace. Don't you start tagging my tag, Kurt.